How's it going, people? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the Big Six. Hope you're all good out there. Make sure you hit the like button. Let's get to 1,000 likes. Actually, before we get going, people, follow us up on the socials because I don't know how we've only got 6K on Instagram and we get regularly 70 to 120K views on this show. Sometimes we're getting up to 10K live viewers. If you're not following us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter and on TikTok as well, at the Big Six Show. All of them are active now. All of them are going to be active moving forward. And to be honest, I didn't get time to update the prediction table today. So I will release that on the Instagram tomorrow. So if you want to sneak peek at it before Thursday's live show, then make sure you're following us on those socials, people. And big up Manscaped, the sponsor, TB620 for 20% off. Grab something, use that code. It supports the channel. It supports us. It helps us extend with them. So if you need something, grab it, use that code and show them some love and they know you're coming through us. First and foremost, Tobes, last minute, he's not feeling too good. He is back in the country, but he doesn't feel good at all. He thinks he's got food poisoning. So, yeah, he had to drop out, but he has kindly hollered at Savva, and Savva has kindly joined us. So, big up Savva making his debut on the Big Six. Savva, you good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Yes. Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
No worries, my bro. I have got Savva's channel in the description, people. Football Heritage TV. As we do with debuts, make sure you show some love. Go over there and subscribe. On the road to 5K, I believe. So show some love, people. Come on. Like I said, Savva's debut on the Big Six. And we have got a lot of good people in the comments, good people watching the show, high engagement. So I expect Savva's followers and subscribers to go up after this show and during. And as always, HUGH, SAEED, Grizz, MATISSE, THUGGEry, all of those channels are there as well. So show some love, people, and the official Big Six channel. The top 6 fullbacks of all time was due to come out at some point today, but it's not ready yet. So make sure you subscribe, put a notification bell on, and then you'll know when that's out, people. It's coming out real soon, sometime this week. So look out for it. And yeah, aside from that, and actually, Tobes actually had a very good week. He had 3 correct scores. Saeed's got the record for most correct scores in a game week, which is 4.
He tried it, man. But you know your place, Toby, man. Know your place, man.
Very good week. To be honest, he did close the gap a little bit, but Saeed had 2 correct scores of his own. So listen, follow us on Insta. You'll see the prediction table tomorrow, and then I'll put it on the screen on Thursday's show. But let's get into it, man. Let's get into it because I'm getting a lot of messages. A lot of opposition fans are happy this weekend. Matisse in particular is one of those. But yeah, let's get into it all. Somehow a point away at Anfield, as disappointing it was for me watching the game going 2-0 up, somehow a point away at Anfield has become banter to some fans. And it shows to me how far Arsenal have come, that a draw away at Anfield is seen as banter. But yeah, we'll get into it all, man. Grizz, let's start with you, because I saw on your story that you said it ain't easy to win at Anfield. So you seem pretty chuffed with it as well.
That's a statement of fact, no?
It ain't easy, you're right. But I didn't expect you to be chuffed with it, considering...
No, I'm not chuffed. You see me chuffing?
There was a little smirk there a couple of seconds ago.
No, I'm not chuffing, man. I'm not chuffing, man. I'm not chuffing. I'm just... And I mean, I'm chuffing at Toby ducking. You know, he's... man's going from continent to continent, drinking, eating different types of food every night. Never checks where he's ordering from. And then he expects, you know what I mean, not to have food poisoning. I think he's got more than food poisoning, but that's just me. You know what I mean? Hope he's okay. Hope he rests up well. But yeah, man, I'm not chuffed, man. I'm chuffed, yeah, for my team to show something. That's all I'm chuffed about. I'm chuffed that we brought some fire to the game, because I was doing previews, obviously, in the week building up to it, and everyone was like, "Oh," obviously the Man City side was saying, "No, do you remember we were having a laugh and a giggle the last show?" We're like, everyone was saying, "No, you got to show something, man. This is Anfield." And I was like, I don't know what Liverpool are going to turn up, and literally, you guys saw the reason why I said that. Like, yeah. I don't know Hughie and don't know the rest of you lot. After 20, 30, 25 minutes, you lot must have thought, right, we're going to strip this Grizz naked and his team. This is not, we're not having this. What is this? This is amateurish. Like, that could have been embarrassing, that 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But then, you know, the rest of the 65, 60 minutes was glimpses of what we can do and what we've been. We were monstrous. That's the only word. We were monstrous after that. And really should have won. And really should have swung the pendulum in City's way in the title race. But at the moment, as far as the title race is concerned, it's a mad situation. It's literally in both of your hands, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can win it and you can win it. Like whoever wins that game. So yeah, look, from my side, chuffed that we showed something. Chuffed that we showed something different tactically. Players showing pride, because it was a pride game for us. We ain't getting top four. I've told you like that already. We ain't getting top four. It was just a matter of, are we really gonna get run over by Arsenal, who haven't beaten us in XYZ? Because for that 25 minutes, it was scary watching you lot. Like, fair play to you lot. Without doubt, the best team that's come to Anfield this season. Without doubt. And I include Napoli in that. Everyone was hyping up Napoli. Bro, Arsenal were a different level in that opening. Savva will know because they went to Spurs and done something similar. No, but it's true. They, you know,
Bring me into it. I'm new.
But what I mean is, like, in terms of going to a big ground away or a rival, maybe not a big ground, but a rival ground, and really turning it on. And we could have melted and sort of given up because we had nothing to play for apart from pride. And it's good to see that the pride, we rose and we kept a bit of, what's the word, guys? I'm looking for, like, a bit of saved face. Yeah, pride, saved face. We didn't disintegrate and we came out strong. And Liverpool fans, well, me, what I'm looking for right now for until the end of the season is just glimmers. Show me glimmers that we're not dead. Show me something that we're still breathing. Show me there's still a little bit of bite in the old dog. There was a little bit of bite, and Arsenal Football Club felt it in that second half. Come near the end, you mans were just, yeah, you know, like hanging on, you know, like hanging on for dear life. You know, like Toby was just like, let me go. I need to run to the toilet. That's what you lot were doing. That's what you lot were doing. Just let us go. We need to just go home. Let's take this point, bank it, and run out of here. Because, yeah, we saw in that second half, this is Anfield.
Yeah, we did. I think I'll extend that 25 minutes to 40 minutes. I think we kind of controlled things. We wasn't really under too much threat. And then for the remaining 50 minutes of the game, it was all hands on deck. Two statements that I've been saying quite regularly since full time. We should have won it. We could have lost it. It's hard to put into words how I'm feeling about that game, because when you're 2-0 up, you know, on one hand, you can say we bottled it. And I understand that. There's an argument to be made there. Away, we got caught in the hype. We played the occasion rather than the game, and so on, and all of that. And I'm with that. I get that too. But when you look at the second half and the chances Liverpool had and the saves Ramsdale had to pull out, we were lucky to get out of Anfield with a point in the end. And I don't think we'll know the true damage of losing that 2-goal lead until...
Yeah, it could be a point. It could be a point that you could look back and say, "Yo, remember that point we got at Anfield where we felt so low?" It could be the turning point. Like, that could be the pivotal point. Or you could be like, you're right, 2-0 up, and if you lose to a point to City or whatever, yeah, you're right. Only time will tell. It just keeps the tense nature of this race going. Like, it's not settled either way. It was never going to be settled anyway. But the pendulum would have swung quite a bit if it was a win or a loss. A draw just keeps it going.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I agree with you. You know, from a Liverpool point of view, I was very, you know, I was pissed off with my team at the start. And by the end, I was like, yeah, purring like a proud daddy. Like, yeah, you showed me something. I'll give you another chance, son. I'll give you another chance. It's one of those ones. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I think it was a fantastic game of football, though. Like, that was a proper Premier League classic. Proper.
For the neutral, it was definitely, I mean, 30 minutes in, 40 minutes in, I haven't felt as good as, you know, as good all season. I thought, shit, we're about to do something here. We're about to go to Anfield and get 3 points.
And I see people have been sending me all the clips of all the fan channels. You know, the YouTube clips, like all the fan channels going mad. I tell you, man, some scenes. But that's why I'm a little bit disappointed with our boy Skull. But I don't know, man. He must be busy or what, because there was some footage there.
Yeah, but come on. Like, what are we going to do? Get clipped for a 2-2 at Anfield? That's mad.
No, but there's scenes, there's footage, there's content. You know what I mean? It's fun. I don't know. Why didn't he make it fun this week? People hashtag make Big Six fun. Hashtag.
Only when it's me, man. Don't worry.
I know. There's agendas, there's narratives, there's brown envelopes. You know what I mean?
That's a big accusation, there.
Please. You notice how you heard the word accusation only.
I told you last show. No comment.
Yeah, man. Skull. There was some content there, brother. But I don't know, man. The game's the game, I guess.
The game is the game. I don't know. I would have felt that would have been very harsh to have been clipped up for a 2-2 at Anfield. But at the same time,
100%. Overall, yes. But there was a lot of people saying, "What Anfield? What this? Anfield? Screw Anfield! This." And at the end of the stream, they were behind the sofa. I couldn't see them. They were behind the sofa.
Don't go anywhere.
Don't go anywhere.
It is frustrating though, man. That overall, that's my overarching emotion coming at the game. I'm disappointed because I feel like, you know what, it's mad because when I say we should have won it, it feels mad to say that when you consider how much we was holding on in the second half. But I'm talking about that first 40 minutes, we was in control. We went 2-0 up. I had another big opportunity, Jesus, with the back post one where really I'm expecting him to score. But at the same time, Liverpool are probably looking at that like, shit, we should have won that game too. So it's one of those games. Let's hear from the rest of the panel and get their thoughts, because I'm sure a certain blue is itching to say something.
Which shade of blue are we talking about?
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
Royal blue.
that's clearly directed to Hugh, who's in an important title race with yourselves.
We are, Matisse. We are. We're in this together, brother.
I almost forgot the game was even going on. You know what I mean?
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. How did the live go?
It was okay. You know, just I was entertained as a neutral. It was a good game, fun game. Loads of goals. Could have been more. They could have won. You could have won. Just nice football. Nice game. Nice game.
It's burning him, yeah. No, I think it was an electric game, man. I thought Liverpool. I was looking at Liverpool thinking, bloody hell, Arsenal could come in and wipe the sword. Could have been 2 or 3. Could have been more than 3. You know what I mean? But listen, I know a couple of super chats are saying blaming Xhaka. I don't think anyone's blaming Xhaka, but it was a Xhaka moment that swung the game for me. It's almost like a momentum changer. Trent Alexander-Arnold starts to liven up, starts to kind of rally the crowd. The crowd then decide to sing. You know what I mean? Because you know what Anfield's like sometimes. You know, it's a myth, the crowd. But they decide to sing, and then obviously it just riles them up. And then after that, it was pure massacre. Liverpool,
are you listening to these people? Am I going to let you lot sit here and say Anfield's still a myth?
Praising,
like I know you're not praising me. No, you're not finishing. I'm not letting him finish. I'm not letting him finish. Let them get. You know me. I don't give shit about chat. You know me. I'm rhino skin here. Nah. When you're sat here and just got pummeled 7-0 and you're telling me about Anfield still a myth, you know that Anfield's still a myth. I don't even know what you mean by that.
What do you mean context?
Yeah, what context?
The crowd wasn't.
We know. You know what he said, Matisse? We know Anfield's a myth, and only 2 weeks ago, Anfield.
Brother, let me just finish what I've been saying, man.
Brought you to your knees.
Let me give you praise,
for air.
It's the only team that has shown that they can go to Anfield is Real Madrid, right? Because they're
the only ones that don't care about.
Yeah, because they play with AirPods.
Yeah, they're mad. They're mad.
Everybody else.
Yeah, no, they're aliens, innit? They're aliens. They come from outer space. They're not on this earth. They come from, when it comes to Champions League, they come from outer space in their little spaceships. They come play their game. They don't understand what the crowd's saying anyway. It don't affect them. It don't affect them. They're not affected. They're gone.
With Man United,
oh, you
Man
other
United's
man.
a rivalry, though. Man United's a rivalry. I'm talking about the game here. Arsenal controlled the game. It was quiet. They needed.
What did I say? Even on Rivals Talk, what did I say? It's going to take. I said our crowd ain't going to be.
That's
up
what I'm
for it.
saying.
Even on the Big Six, I said our crowd's not going to be up for it. Our players are not in the most hyped up mood. Even the coach is down. Arsenal just need to focus on the football and play. And I said it. If Arsenal come and play their football and we play like we've been playing, because the crowd ain't going to lift them. Everything will be in Arsenal's favor, and that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened until Turkish. This is where I'm gonna put it on you lot, where it is to blame for you lot, or something went wrong here. Because if you lot just continued to play football, we wouldn't have
come back. I thought you guys were lost.
We were gone.
But
the moment that you tried to kick us while we're down and said, yeah, we're on top of you, let's just take the piss out of them as well and bully them and push them around. That's when you lot thought, yeah, we're gangsters. There's only one gangster in Anfield. When it comes to Anfield, there's only one gangster. You should just focus on the football. We're not here for no trouble. We're here to win 3 points, win the Premier League, go home. Because you lot were not letting us touch the ball. It was boys against men again. It was a continuation of Man City and then Arsenal. But when Man City continue to play football and didn't get embroiled in the thing, you lot thought, yeah, let's just push them around. Fouls were going in, Xhaka, elbows, this and that. The time wasting started early. Every touch, Gabriel Jesus going down, pretending it's a head injury, this and that.
That's what riled the fans.
Every team does it. Before people say, money, every team does it. But not when you notice that a lot of grimy teams do it. I'm sorry to say. When you're good at football and you're winning 2-0, you focus on the football. Because if you get a third, it's literally game over. You just focus on the game. But if you're going to think, 2-0, we're going to start acting, because it was blatant acting. And that's what got the crowd going even more. If it was serious injuries or whatever, no problem. Time wasting, complaining, and then Xhaka incident, of course. But you can't just solely blame Xhaka. It's a collective. The manager, the players, he would have talked. Come on, man. We know he would have played. You never walk alone in the training ground. He would have told you, look, don't get involved, because he fucked up last season. So he already knows. This time he didn't even look at Klopp. He knew, if I look at Klopp, the crowd might get angry. So he just kept looking that way. But the moment you lot started, I think, got slightly arrogant. Anfield is a humbler.
But the thing is, though, you guys were laying in some challenges. And this is where I'll almost more so give credit to Liverpool, because I was saying the same thing. If it's a football match, you guys are losing. But then as soon as you dug into the passion and desire traits and attributes, that's where it changed. And Trent's very clever, because Trent was like, I'm going to milk this and I'm going to take a yellow and try and get Xhaka a red and make this into a fight. And then he's going up to the fans and giving it.
I love that you want to give us credit. But I think it was a sign of slight desperation from us. I don't think it was.
Yeah, it's desperation, but you had to do it.
I don't think it was calculated, and we thought, you know what?
Maybe not.
Let's fight them. Let's fight them now. No,
you should have fight them from the beginning, though.
Of course,
yeah,
of course. But this is what I'm saying to you. I think it took the behavior on the pitch, because only the players on the pitch know who was injured and who wasn't. Only the people on the pitch really know. We can only guess and speculate and what words they exchanged and what not. But it was obviously enough to rile some very mellow people in the Liverpool team. Like, we're not known to be all of that. We're not known to think we're gangsters. Do you understand? But we turned gangster. We turned gangster.
It was mad.
Yeah, it was a madness. And I'm pretty sure none of you lot saw it coming as well. Like, everyone thought, this is going to be embarrassing.
Because I thought you guys...
You could see they just grew and grew into it, though. The Liverpool players, they grew and grew and grew to the point where, like you said, in the last 5-10 minutes, they were all over Arsenal. It was little things. Obviously, that Xhaka moment was the turning point where, like you said, it woke the Liverpool fans up. They said, we're not going to be bullied here. If you want to make it a fight, we'll have a fight kind of thing.
To be fair, they do have a few bastards, to be fair.
They do a few bastards, 100%.
Yeah.
But like
Robbo, Henderson, Elliot.
Moments like
Elliot's a little kid. Calling a little kid a bastard is a bit uncalled for. Still, that's worse than calling me a donkey. I don't know which one's worse. Calling me a donkey or Elliot a bastard. I don't know which one. He's a little kid, man. Elliot a bastard. Really?
He's a little bastard. Then.
Are you doing that? Are you doing that?
He's a scrawny little kid. That's
he's
what
a
he is.
scrawny little kid. Okay.
Yes, he's one of them, but it could be a good thing though, man. It's
Listen,
not
from
bad.
as far as I'm
Elliot,
concerned, he's over 18.
Robertson, I get
He's
it.
now a little bastard to me. Then big
Little
bastard later on, but he's little bastard right now.
That's what
He's 20 years old. He's a little
Oh
bastard.
shit.
I remember him against us a couple of seasons ago, and he thought he was the big bollocks, and he wanted to go.
Yeah,
hard,
exactly.
hard.
Nah, fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Fair
Yeah,
enough.
that's.
But he wasn't playing, so I don't know why he's catching strays. Come on, Robertson. I
You know
get.
what though?
Yeah.
No, I think for me, Liverpool, the momentum shifted, and obviously the second half is where I thought Arteta make some changes. He didn't. He kind of kept it the way it was, and then Tread decided to be a demon. I don't know what Tread got into Tread that second half, but he was on that right hand side. You know what I mean? Liverpool just kept overloads. The substitutions from Arteta, I think, were a bit odd. Bringing Kivio into the game. I get it, he wanted to go into a back five or whatnot, but Kivio's, what is that, his second appearance, Turkish?
Yeah, first in the Premier League, yeah.
It's first in the Premier League. It's one of them, like, people could say, I personally would have thought bringing the Jorginho would have been better. That's my own personal opinion. Everyone can have their own. In a game like that,
But you're
maybe I would have brought him
innit?
on.
You're tactical, right? Not everyone's a tactical.
Well, I'm a tactical, exactly.
Yeah,
but, you know what I mean? I thought Kivio was a bit odd. And also the Zinchenko one. For me, you could see on that side he was getting overloaded. I don't know if Martelli was helping him, but for me, that area needed to be tamed. He needed to be brought on earlier. But he didn't bring him on. And obviously that goal happened as a result. And then he brought on Firmino. And then he said, you know what? He's sitting back here. I'll go for it. And that's what Klopp did. He seized on the initiative from Arteta. That sort of hesitancy. Similar to the way I called it against Man United. Remember the 3-1 when we beat you? That hesitancy in Ten Hag. He's seen it. Bang. What does Ten Hag do? He goes and bring a couple of substitutions on. He changes the dynamics of the game. Boom. We go on to win the game. That little fine margins there. Listen, Arteta's been brilliant, but that's what he'll learn on. Thinking, you know what, that's going to decide games. And I think that
I
was
agree with you. I agree with you. And I was going to ask Turkish this anyway, because it's intriguing. I want to know, actually, is there been a game where he's done that, where he's switched to a back five in a game this season?
Not this season.
There you go. There, I wanted to know, because obviously I don't know. I thought Turkish will know. I was waiting to ask you that. This is what, when you're in the cauldron, this is what you do. You do things that you don't normally do. Stick to your plan, stick to your game, ball us out, finish the job, 2-0 up, half an hour gone, and then even going 5 at the back when you've never done it before, unless it was injuries or something, unless people start telling me, oh, shut up, Grizz, man, we had injury and that's why you had to go back and fight. I don't think you did. I think you completely gave the initiative to us. We went 4 up front. Yeah. Even though we had nothing to play for, we just kind of, you know what I mean, how we didn't win that at the end. We had an XG. I mean, I know, you know what I mean, we ain't about the XG business, but we had an XG of 4.2. That's a madness in a game of 90 minutes, man. And we really should have. That could have been 4-5, man. Could have been.
Would you say the boys gave everything in that game?
By that?
I'm just asking.
What do you
You even know or you know? I'm just asking.
I don't know what you're asking. What do you mean?
I'm asking, did the boys give everything? Because you're talking about the XG. So
the boys gave everything. I don't doubt the boys ever. I've only rarely given the boys the slander about not giving everything. And that's always out of frustration, because I believe the boys always give everything. I just don't think they're good enough. And I don't think they've got enough energy to give any more. They're burnt out. So I never doubt they didn't want to play. They didn't give everything. Very rarely. If I have, it's frustration. And I always retract it. So the answer to your question is make of that what you will, innit?
Just say yeah, man.
Make of that what you will, innit? You ask me them kind of questions, you're going to get these kind of answers.
On the 2 points kind of mentioned so far, Xhaka, listen, at the time I just thought to myself, he's done what he's done. He's had a Xhaka moment, you can call it that. You know, we've seen very few of those over the season. But at the same time, I'm not looking at that incident as enough of a reason or enough of an excuse to have lost as much control as we did. Listen, conceding 2 to Liverpool Anfield is not the problem. That can happen. It's conceding the amount of control we had going into that moment. And I have to look overall at the team for that. And leading up to that incident, Liverpool had 2 chances that I'd call big chances where I feel like both should have scored, Robertson and Salah. They was essentially both one-on-one. So as much as we had control in that first 40 minutes, we deserved a 2-goal lead. Liverpool had moments before that Xhaka moment with Trent. But after that Xhaka moment with Trent, going the other end, scoring, I can't look at that incident with Xhaka and directly blame it all on that moment. Yes, it was silly. Yes, it didn't need to happen. But at the same time, I want those moments to spur us on as well, whether it's at Anfield, whether it's at Old Trafford, wherever it is. We've been bullied too much over the years. That's been one of the knocks on Arsenal. And I'm not saying Liverpool were trying to bully us. There was a lot of strong tackles from Konate, for example, but I didn't look at that first 40 minutes saying Liverpool are trying to be so physical with us. So I didn't feel like it needed to happen then. Like we want to win controlling games, whereas Liverpool like chaos, and that's how they win games, and that's how their era in the past 5-6 years has gone about: chaos, rock and roll style football. So yes, that incident played a part. I think Saeed's right in mentioning Arteta, because I think Tierney should have come on long before he did.
Yeah,
He was getting exposed down that side. Zinchenko's in the side to help dominate midfield. We didn't dominate midfield for no minutes in that second half. So 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, I was looking at a Kieran Tierney to come on. And if a back five was the plan, if that was what Arteta wanted to do, I would have preferred Tierney slotting into a back three and then Zinchenko at least having that extra support there. But he was just too slow with it. And then you look at our attack in the second half, and we had chances, and we'll get into that shortly. We had chances of our own. We had the last chance of the game, in my opinion, where Martinelli really should have fed through Saka, but he got the fucking ball horribly wrong. But Trossard coming on to help us keep the ball in the final third. He's got good feet. He's got, he's got that about him where he can get out of tight situations. He can hold on to the ball. I feel like Trossard, Tierney, and maybe even a Jorginho to try and help control the midfield, try and help get us get a foot back into it would have been the better options. But the subs took a while. I think Kivior and Trossard didn't come on to the 80th minute. Tierney didn't come on to like the 88th minute. The subs were too delayed for my liking, if I'm honest with you. And this is coming from someone who's looked at our bench this season, especially since January, and given it credit, praised Arteta for building not just the first 11, but finally a bench where we can call on a few people who can come into the game and make a difference. I just feel like he was very hesitant to do that. And
do you think he like
it matched all of us. When Kivior come on, I was just like, what? This doesn't really make sense.
Scrambled thinking, my brother.
This is a panic moment for me. It seemed like he was panicking a little bit.
In a moment,
he was feeling the onslaught coming, and he said, just throw on the defenders, throw on the heavy metal defenders. I don't know if Kivior is that, but Tierney coming on, like you said, a bit earlier might have tightened it up and calmed things down for you. But look, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I can get Kivior because Thiago was starting to put a lot of crosses in. Nunes come on, so you just maybe want as many aerial dominant players as possible. But when you're going to the back five, you got to bring Tierney on as well, because that means you're sacrificing possession. You're just going park the bus. You're just holding on. And we all know Tierney's a better defender than Zinchenko. Even if you put Zinchenko into midfield and take off Xhaka, who's on the yellow card, or whatever you want to do, I think just Tierney's the only one I'm going to look at and think. And it's unlucky because Tierney was coming on, isn't it? The goal goes in, and it's like the substitution was already ready. It just it's fine margins. Like I think at the end of the day, it's a tough situation because you're at Anfield and you know every decision you make is fine margins. Now this is one of the biggest moments of the season. This is season defining. I'm not surprised that he froze and took a little bit of time to. He hasn't done it before. Do you know what I mean?
This is my point. This is my point, Matisse. This is not only the biggest moment of the season. This is the biggest moment of your managerial career.
Facts. Literally facts.
This is your big calls. Your next couple of calls are the biggest call. We don't know if he's going to go on to bigger and greater things. Of course, hopefully he does for Arsenal fans' sake and Arsenal's sake, or wherever club he goes to. But right now, that last 20 minutes, would you say, Turkish, or 30 minutes, is he needs to make some big, big calls. And I thought making a call to go to a back five when you haven't done it all season and your players are not used to playing. Your players have been brilliant in a system that everyone knows. Even the replacements you bring in, Fabio Vieira for Odegaard, Trossard for whoever at the front three. Everyone knows their role. Tierney for Zinchenko. The right back, Tommy, you got replacements for everything. Suddenly you've thrown a 5-3-2 or whatever it was, 5-4-1.
Yeah, but the system wasn't working, bro. It was time to defend, no?
Also
The whole second half, Liverpool dominated anyway. Like
the system was working because you're still winning.
Nah, second half for me, they were destroyed.
But you're winning. You're winning. You either go brave and go for another goal. Try to bring on a player that will dictate the game, like a Jorginho.
For me, I think Jorginho would have got destroyed out there.
Who's got the experience? Yeah, but Matisse has got the experience. You try to, like, we brought on Thiago because he was getting wild. We brought on Thiago. Some people didn't understand that because they thought, he slowed us down. Really, for me, he was controlled aggression even more. He made sure that Arsenal couldn't come out.
Isn't this, sorry, can I just jump in? Isn't this the unknown for Arteta though? Like from what I've seen this year, and this hurts me to say from a Tottenham fan point of view, Arsenal play great football, right? And most of the games I've watched Arsenal play, they dominate, right? They dominate possession. They like to have the ball. And I've not really seen, and you guys might tell me different, but I've not really seen many games where Arsenal are under that much pressure and under the cosh like they were yesterday against Liverpool. And it's in moments like that when you work out, who are you as a manager, right? But he'll learn from that, right? Because that doesn't happen each week to Arsenal. There's probably not been any other occasion this year where he's had to face a front four. And to be fair to Klopp, when he went, right, I'm taking off, I think it was Fabinho, and then he put on Firmino, and you're thinking, okay, you've now got a 4-2-4 situation. Arsenal haven't had to deal with that before. And it's really hard to turn that tide because it's Liverpool, it's at Anfield. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold was having all sorts of joy down the right-hand side. I thought Liverpool were pinning Arsenal back in. I don't think there was a lot he could have done. I know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No,
I think that sounds like a cop-out, but I think Liverpool looked like they were going to... You know, I thought Liverpool looked like they were going to go on and win the game easily.
I agree with you. I don't think it's a defining moment in his career, and I'm not slaughtering him. I'm not sat here saying he fucked up, he messed up. I agree with you. There's not a lot a manager can do in that situation, especially someone who hasn't experienced it. And he's a very young manager, and 100% he will learn from it. People know I'm an Arteta stan anyway, and I think he will learn from it. But I just thought that was pivotal, though, and it, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying.
So how do you stop that tirade? Like, I think you see it in most weeks. Like, that's what it must be like playing City every week, right? You've just got a tirade of players coming forward. Sometimes it doesn't matter. Do you go to a 5 at the back? Do you have 3 defensive midfielders sitting in front of a back
How do you guys do it? You guys know. You've got the best record.
Listen, that game for me yesterday, I didn't understand what was happening. As a Spurs fan, I saw people in the same colour shirt passing to somebody else in the same colour shirt as them, and then going and get the ball again. And I saw teamwork, and I saw patterns, and I saw shape, and I saw attacking. And as a Spurs fan, I've not seen that this year. So it took me about 15, 20 minutes to get used to the idea that this is what football is. But in all honesty, it was good to see two teams, Arsenal for the first half, very much in control. I thought picked Liverpool off brilliantly. Martinelli, I thought, was a danger the whole of that half. But Liverpool, I thought, reacted brilliantly. And that must be really frustrating for you as a Liverpool fan, that you saw you battered Man United 7-0. You've battered Arsenal in that second half. Then you go and lose to teams like Bournemouth and you can't beat X, Y, Z. That must be more frustrating than what you saw yesterday, because you can do that. You've proven over the last 4 or 5 years you can do that.
7-8 is past frustration. It's past frustration. It's disappointment, frustration, anger, resentment. And I've never hated this team and this set of players. They came to a point where I started hating every single month. I started hating them. But it is what it is. But that's fan reaction. That's for temporary. We say things and then they show us something, and then the support and love comes back. And you're right. It's mad.
Remember what I said, pride. When I said to you, pride.
You smashed it, brother. This is why you're on top of the Big Six league. This is why your predictions are coming true, bro.
Yeah, man. Everything I say, you know what I mean? Just I think Liverpool showed pride.
Hang on, that's not true. I watch this show every week, right? And I remember your massive. I think you call it big chest energy or whatever you guys call it.
No. For this game,
the Liverpool Man United game, you were sitting in that very same spot, going, "I've never been more confident about going to Anfield."
You win some, you lose some.
You know, sometimes she's sometimes good. Sometimes she's sometimes good.
But I'm not going to say anything. As a Spurs fan, I know not to
listen,
not to belittle bigger teams.
You can have a say. You know what I mean? Listen, that's what it's all about, man. You can be shameless of this show. It's a rule, innit, Turkish? You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, Skull Thuggery will love it. So
part of the culture.
Well, yeah.
Don't change.
Part of the culture.
Shamelessness. But I want to shout out very quickly before we move on. I want to shout out like a lot of centre back chat about, you know, young centre backs, great centre backs, comparable centre backs, and I don't want to get involved in that. All over the timeline, Vidic, Terry, Virgil van Dijk, and obviously on the back of Saliba and Gabriel, this and that. But you guys know how much I love Ibu Konate, and you guys probably saw why I love this kid yesterday. And he's still a kid. He's 21. And that was a performance. And if he could have topped that off with a winning goal in the last, I don't know what he tried to do, that chest, belly button, man boobs, everything.
Konate's 23. You stop lying. You keep doing this. You keep rounding down the ages of your squad. Don't play with me now.
He was 21 once.
He's 20. He's now 23.
Oh, he's now 23. Okay,
he's 23, and he's 24.
He joined.
He's 24 next month. So what you are doing? What you are doing is fraudulent.
He joined when he was 21.
We have seen enough players with fake passports already. Don't do this.
He joined when he was 21. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, liar.
Just say you had a good match. Why are you trying to
liar?
You ruined it now, man. You were on the right path there.
You ruined it, to be honest.
I thought he was 21.
He was a bad boy. He's a proper centre half, but you ruined it with the age thing now. You're trying to overdo it.
He's not 21. Yeah, but we can't say he's going to be 24 soon. Next, we're going to say he's going to be 25 soon.
He is 24.
We literally can't say he's going to be 24
next month, Grizz.
Yes, so what? Next year is going to be 25. Next month, next year.
I can tell you one thing. He's not 21.
Okay, no problem. I appreciate you correcting me.
I just googled it immediately because I know what you're like with the ages.
That's why he's trying to put him with Saliba in the man.
He's done it a couple of times already.
Listen, focus.
Gabriel was good as well.
Gabriel was solid. Even Holding, you know, we all worried about Holding. Even Holding done his thing.
Konate was the best player on the park. He carried Virgil van Dijk. He carried Robertson.
You're talking about Virgil van Dijk?
And he put, no, what for? We've done it. That's what I said. I don't want to get involved in that chat. We chat about it every week.
He was shaky in that first half, man. He was very shaky in that first half.
Yeah, but even he pulled through. And in the end, oh man, what's this chat, man? Disrespectful, man.
Carry on.
I thought it was Thiago Alcantara though. I thought when he came on, when Thiago Alcantara came on, I just thought it was everything you missed this season. I know he's got his injury problems, but what a footballer! Like, gets on the ball. He can see the pass before he's gonna make it, if that makes sense. He's already scanned the pitch to see the pass, and I just thought he really put his foot on the ball and made you tick. And if you could keep him fit, then that's the big if, right?
Mate, that's the only if.
Can I ask?
And that's not our if. That's every club's if.
Yeah, of course.
Barca, no one's been able to keep him fit, and that's why he's not had the career that his talent deserves. Sorry, Matisse.
This is what I thought too. But Tobes on Twitter was saying, actually, no, Thiago come and ruined the game a bit, and Jones was actually much better. Now, Jones was involved in one of the goals. Fair play to him, right?
Jones was good.
And I've said many a time, Jones is for me not good enough to be really at Liverpool. I don't think. I think once you sign your midfielders, Jones is going to be a thing of the past. He might have to leave because he's not going to get much game time. But he was good. But Thiago, for me, I thought when he come on, he was really good. But Tobes thought otherwise. I thought I'd get that in because he's not here. Do you know what I mean? I just wanted to get that Tobes analysis in there. But Ramsdale deserves flowers as well. If we're giving flowers, because
that's the man of the match.
That's a mad performance.
In my opinion,
that's a mad performance. Some of those saves, man, I'm like, wow. Like that Salah save. That was a Salah goal. Do you know what I mean? I saw the finish, bend round the corner. I was about to, as a neutral, applaud Liverpool and commiserations to Arsenal for the L. and the save comes, and I'm like, wow,
Ramsdale's proper,
what a
man.
moment.
I thought the camera says we're not true, but listen, Ramsdale, give his seal of approval, man. Ramsdale was proper yesterday.
But you know, a lot of Arsenal fans tell me, Turkish, I don't know if you want to back this up. They say he's weirdly, he's mad away from home. He thrives on the toxicity and bring it on, and he plays better away from home. Like that's like that he loves that kind of
When you're that type of character,
yeah,
I think that sort of thing it does give you something else. But that's not to say at home he hasn't made big saves this season, because he has.
He has.
Ramsdale for me easily man of the match, because not only that Salah save, the Konate save, the Nunes one-on-one save. There was another Salah save where he was unsighted behind Gabriel, I think it was, where it was kind of down the center of the goal, but he still had to get his hands on it. For me, he's the reason why we left Anfield with a point. He's the only reason why we left Anfield with a point. Even down to the penalty, and him getting a yellow card for trying to ruffle some feathers and do those sort of tactics. Obviously, there's a rule change now, and you can't do that. You've got to thank Martinez for that, apparently. But I think that's part of football too, trying to get under the skin of the opponent and trying to put players off. But for me, look, Konate, he done his thing. He was a beast for sure. My only doubts about him is consistency in terms of fitness. But on the pitch, I think Ramsdale was head and shoulders the man of the match for me overall, from both teams.
Fair enough.
I thought Odegaard was poor. I expected him more. Saka was quiet, but then again, he could have had the best moment of the game. He had one moment where he sliced. Was it the defender? I don't know who was at the back, but Konate was it? He sliced it back open, and then obviously the pass Martinelli, if he'd played him through. So yeah, it's fine margins, man. It's crazy. The game was literally like, as much as Liverpool dominated, Arsenal had the Gabriel header. They had that moment where Martinelli should have passed it through, and the Saka moment. Had he have made a better pass, I think Trossard was there waiting. So as much as we can say,
I tried to keep quiet about.
Can I just finish?
It's up to you.
I'm not trying to ban Liverpool. I'm just literally trying to say that Arsenal had their moments as well. But you justifiably were on top for the whole game.
Well, I'm not disappointed at that. I know you do these ones. I know you.
I know
you. I said I know you, innit? I said I know you. But
I'll give you a balanced argument, bro.
What I'm disappointed with is the silence from everyone else about. And this is what the media does in this country as well. And I feel like the big six are taking it from the media and continuing with the narrative. Like nobody wants to speak about Trent this week.
I was gonna talk.
Oh, you was gonna?
No, because the thing is,
gonna. Oh, you're a gunner now, yeah.
The thing is, for me,
I mean, look at Hughie. He hasn't said nothing about Trent, like slaughtering Trent Alexander-Arnold, everything. But look, we done him a favor.
I'll slaughter him right now.
Hold on, we're gonna talk about Trent.
Where's the humility?
I'm gonna talk about Trent with Klopp, because remember I said Trent. Well done to Trent, right? For causing a fuss with Xhaka and forcing that and getting the hand up and all that kind of stuff. But Klopp was the one that decided to invert him. And I have been saying on this show many a time, when can we see Trent in midfield? And it gets shut down every single time. I went and said it on 5. I said it on Instagram, shut down again. Shut down here, shut down on my channel, shut down everywhere. Trent, I'm not saying he's a perfect midfielder, but he got inverted. He went next to Fabinho. You go get yourself a serious 6 next season, maybe a Paulinho or whatever. I'm just saying that 3 at the back, you heard it here first. And you didn't hear it from you. You heard it from me. So you can hold that. And you can put flowers on Trent's name. I don't need to do shit. You could do that. Because I already do this shit.
Okay.
Can I slaughter him? Can I slaughter him? Is that okay?
But also, he got ripped.
No, you can, but you can. But I think what look, you can before you slaughter him. I just want to give you a little pre-warning, right? I know it's your debut, right? So
what is it with you in the debuts, bro?
No, he said, "Can I slaughter him on an occasion like this?" The reason why I'm saying you can slaughter him, but be wary of slaughtering, is everyone slaughters him every week. My point, when he makes mistakes, very rarely does he get praised for the qualities that a lot of nations around the world would utilize to the best of their ability and his ability, and make him into the talent that he is. Okay, that's what I said.
Agreed, but I'm going to tell you why I'm going to slaughter him, because he is absolutely woeful defensively. I don't care what anyone... Listen, this is... If we're going to talk about what the media does in this country, and this is how this started, right? Is, the media does this and we do that. let's be fair, we hype up players that have a good year and we go, oh my God, they're amazing. They're the best thing. They're going to win a Ballon d'Or. And oh my God, they're so much better than Gary Neville and blah, 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 blah. Right? Cool. But the guy can't defend. Right? And first and foremost, I don't care what we say about him. He is a defender. Right? So I always say he's very good going that way and he's terrible going this way. And even in the first half yesterday, I thought he was awful. He was absolutely shocking. Martinelli had him on toast. What he is good at, what he's brilliant at, is when he gets in behind, like when he nuts, I don't know who it was he nuts, but he nutmegged someone and set up the goal. Right? Yeah. That's brilliant. But first and foremost, I'll give you praise for that, but that's additional. That's additional to what your job is. Your job is that way, and you're awful at it. Like, I'm sorry, I said this for years. The assists and the goals have really papered over what a bad defender this guy is, and then put him up against Kyle Walker and Reece James. This is a very, very average defender. I think that's being polite. So I'm not going to get all googly-eyed about him because he's managed to nutmeg someone and assist. He can't defend.
Okay,
he's
the point,
shocking defender.
This is why
not many would disagree with you in terms of he's not a great defender. No, but hold on.
I'm trying to save him.
Right off his line.
We didn't learn anything about Trent yesterday, Grizz. There was no redemption arc. We learned nothing. We
learned something about
knowing. We've been knowing the Trent's class going forward. We've known this, and it's the way.
I just want to. I've had this conversation, man.
This is why Klopp needs credit. We've had this conversation every week. He actually inverted.
We have this conversation. Savva, if the guy is, how old is he, Matisse? Before I make it up,
24, I think.
Because I'm gonna make it up, and then you're not gonna get angry. So just tell me before, innit?
I reckon he's 25.
By my calculations, he's 24.
24.
Savva, he's 24.
You're gonna say he's 21.
Savva, he's 24. Savva, he's been playing at fullback since only when he was 18. Before that, he was an attacking box-to-box midfielder, creative, like getting into the box. He wanted to be a Stevie G type thing. He's been converted to play fullback. But
not very well.
Okay, let me finish because I didn't interrupt you. So he's been converted. No, it's fair. No, you don't need to do that. Look, I'm just being honest.
No.
Yeah. So you've made some claims, and a lot of people would agree with you, right? So he's been converted into from an attacking midfielder who's he hasn't got the instincts of a defender. I think he's not great defensively. Agrees as well. I agree with you from that aspect, but the modern day fullback is a lot of the top coaches do look at their assists and goals and what they do bring to the team creatively, because a lot of the modern day coaches don't use fullbacks to defend. Now that's your perception of a fullback. I can't help you with if that's your perception of fullback or he must defend. That's fine.
It's not my perception.
Okay, I'm giving you the perception of the top coaches' perceptions, though. All the top coaches' fullbacks are attacking. Cancelo is better going forward than going back. Zinchenko is better going forward than going back. Kyle Walker, we've discussed. Who else is at the top of the table these days? All of the teams that have won. Bayern Munich's fullbacks, Alphonso Davies, much better going forward. All the top teams in the world that have won anything, and that's not a dig at your club, but what I'm trying to say is all the teams that have won anything. No, but what I'm saying, you probably don't focus on teams that win things. If you focus on teams that win things,
hang on.
Let me finish.
I'm calling you ice spicy.
No, let me finish.
Spicy grizzly bear.
All the teams that win things, you focus on their fullbacks, and you realize majority of them are going better forward than backwards. And so,
am I going to be allowed to respond to this?
Of course you are. 100%. 100%.
More than you can believe.
100% you're going to get. So he's been part of a club. He's been part of a club and a back four, Savva, not like a back five where he's wing back or inverted. He's been a part of a flat back four, only learned the role when he was 18, converted into a team and a club that's won everything there is to win by the age of 24.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay. So first and foremost, right, you're never going to find a less biased Spurs fan than myself. So the whole little digs and jibes that I've never watched any team that win things.
No, I suggested it. I didn't say you haven't. I suggested it.
Sorry, we used to probe Savva, so apologies.
It won't work. It won't work. It won't wash. Right. Look, your second point, which was absolutely nonsensical about, oh my God, he's 24. He's only been doing it for 6 years. I don't care. If Liverpool FC choose...
Yeah, but whether you care or not, that doesn't make it nonsensical if you don't care. I've given you a fact that he's only learned the system. Which great fullback peaked at 24?
Sorry, didn't you just get upset when I tried to interrupt you?
I know.
Oh, spicy chicken wings.
Calm down.
Now you'll realise that I'm calm. This is how I am every show.
Because you got to let him have his say.
You got to let me retort.
But he thinks I'm rattled. I'm like this. I'm very aggressive.
He presses from the front. He's applying the gegenpress.
I'm a gegenpresser.
Yeah, he's
but calling my point nonsensical because you don't care does makes no sense. Do you get it?
Okay.
You call my point nonsensical because I don't care. That makes no sense.
Let's change the words. Okay.
Yeah, but change the words and I'll come correct. Then I'll come.
Thank you. Glad to have your approval. Right. Liverpool Football Club is one of the biggest football clubs in the world. Right. Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
Perfect. So if Liverpool choose to take a player who is an attacking midfielder and convert him to a right back, I'm then not going to use that as the excuse as to why the bloke can't defend. That's on Liverpool Football Club. Most football clubs go and buy what they need or they produce something in the position that they need. Now, of course, football has changed. Football has developed, yeah? And the onus is very much now on what those players can do going forward. But if you are part of a back four, yeah, of which Alexander-Arnold is, you still have to be able to defend. It cannot be, he's so good going forward that it doesn't matter that he can't defend. That's not true. Yes, if we're talking about players that are better going forward than going back, that's fine. But look at Kyle Walker. Nothing goes past Kyle Walker. Yeah, Kyle Walker's brilliant going that way, but nothing goes past him defensively because he can defend, right? So he's got the best of both worlds. Reece James, who is 10 times the player of Alexander-Arnold, can do both. In your opinion. Okay, but my eyes haven't lied to me. I watch Alexander-Arnold play. He can't. I know, but see, his shape is.
You're making strawman arguments. You're making strawman arguments. No. I'll tell you why. I haven't said anything against what you've said. That's a strawman argument.
That's fine.
You've compared him to other players. I haven't said.
I know. I didn't say you had. I'm comparing him. I'm comparing him to others, not you.
So you said. So if Liverpool are employing a player, why do they employ a player and convert a player? Because they think that's the best opportunity to win trophies by employing a player they think they can utilize to the best of their abilities. Have Liverpool, like you just said, been one of the best teams in world football last 5 years? Take away this disastrous season where we've been pants. Have they been one of the best teams in the last 5 years?
No, not one of the best teams in world football. You've won a league. So reaching 3 Champions Leagues in 5 years, reaching 3 Champions Leagues, winning one of them, and taking Man City, who we all claim to be probably the best league side of all time, I should say, and winning a league, winning every domestic trophy there is to win, you wouldn't say we're one of the best teams in Europe in the last 5 years. No, because you've won one league title in that time.
Okay, that's fine. I've just named you a Champions League and a Premier League.
Yeah.
And the domestic trophies and the only team to reach 90 points 3 times. And if you're going to deny the facts just because you don't care,
hang on. Listen, fundamentally, when people look back in 10, 15 years' time, if they look back at this 5-year period, they're going to see that Manchester City have absolutely dominated and won 4 league titles out of 5.
Correct. Again, another straw man. I'm not talking about City. I'm talking about Liverpool.
Well, hang on. Every time I say
no, but because you're going back to things I'm not saying. I'm saying.
You just said it.
I'm asking you, Liverpool have been successful with Trent Alexander at fullback. So for Liverpool and Liverpool fans, they don't really care if he's nasty, as long as the team wins. Now, if his defensive abilities don't improve and it coincides with us not winning, then you have a very valid argument.
And I do have a valid argument.
At the moment, it's just subjective and opinion.
It's not.
I just told you. At the moment, it's just opinion based on 1 year. I'm going on 5-6 years of success with Trent at fullback.
Let me know when I'm allowed to talk, though, because this is like...
Yeah, I know, but this is what happens, because look, you called my point nonsensical.
Oh, that was ages ago. You've got to let that go, mate.
I know. I don't let things go. I don't go anywhere.
He is a dog with a bone.
Anyway,
listen.
Listen. Okay, we're gonna finish off. If he continues not to defend better and get better, because I've said that. I've said he's not great defensively, but if it continues to disrupt Liverpool's future and we don't win stuff, then you can say, yeah, you know what? He was an awful defender. Liverpool didn't win nothing else. And that's that. But if we continue to win things with Trent at fullback, we don't care.
I'm not saying you do care, but for anyone that's not a Liverpool fan, I'm judging him as a footballer. I'm not judging him as a Spurs fan, as a Liverpool fan, as anything.
Sure.
I'm judging Trent Alexander-Arnold as a right back who plays right back in the Premier League as a right back. Right back.
Your definition of right back is different from top coaches right back, with all due respect.
With all due respect, the best coach in the Premier League is Pep Guardiola. And
he believes in attacking fullbacks.
Right, but his attacking fullback is one of the best in the league defensively.
Kyle Walker was the best. Like Hughie will tell you, his standards dropped back 2-3 years ago. He's also peaked when he was 28.
You won't tell you that. You will not tell you that. I think Kyle Walker's an absolute machine.
Wakey.
Oh my God.
Listen, he doesn't even start for you lot.
Listen.
John Stones is doing his thing. Kyle Walker's still class. I don't know what point you're trying to make here.
I watched Kyle Walker, and the guy. I watched Kyle Walker versus. If you look at Kyle Walker versus Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I'm saying this. No one else has said this. I'm saying this. Right, Kyle Walker. No one goes past him. Now he may not be what he was a few years ago, but the guy's what? If we're going to guess ages, 33 maybe now.
Kyle about 23, about 23.
Okay, about 23. There we go. Right. Now, Kyle Walker can defend. So as much as we say top coaches want people to go that way, yeah, I can tell you this: top coaches like people that can defend as well. No top coach goes, don't worry if he can't defend, he can go that way. That. No, I'm not saying you. Well, you got to chill, man. Right?
No, but I don't know why you're making that point for. If I haven't said it, why are you raising that point?
Let him finish it to understand the context he's saying it in.
I understand the context. I'm way ahead of the game.
Yeah, but we also need to move on slowly but surely. So
and we can move on now because
he's
comparing him to players that I've said he's not better than.
All right, let's finish his point.
This all started, right? If I'm not wrong, this all started with, the media and everyone's got to give more props to Trent Alexander-Arnold. I don't know why. I don't know what he did. Even yesterday, the first half, I watched it and went, man, you're awful.
There you go.
Like, he's awful. He cannot defend. He is terrible. His positioning is terrible. Now, what you then have to do is go, okay, if we're talking about coaching, as his coach, why isn't he being coached to defend?
But no, there's nothing. I'm not even. No, I'm not. That's not. It's not like that. I'm just keeping quiet because we need to move on. No.
Okay. Yeah, move on. I'm done.
We need to move on.
Yeah,
okay. Yeah. You've just made out that he's some amateur defender playing for an amateur club. No, he's not being coached. Well, that's what you said. Why isn't he? Of course, he's being coached to suggest.
I just said Liverpool, one of the biggest clubs in the world.
Is Jurgen Klopp one of the best coaches in the world?
Not with
move on that face. Move on.
If Sam watches the show though, he knows.
Yes, he is.
I don't know if Grizz watched Sam today.
But isn't that disrespect to say that?
Come back.
Yes, he is.
Toby loves
Trump. So you've suggested Jurgen Klopp. You've suggested Jurgen Klopp. In essence, what you've done is said Jurgen Klopp doesn't know what a fullback is, doesn't know how to coach a fullback. That's what you've said, in essence.
He hasn't coached Alexander-Arnold in that one incident.
And that's fine. And that's fine to say that. That's fine.
He has not coached Alexander-Arnold to be able to get his shape, be in position. Even when you watch him, take it back. If we're talking about from a coaching perspective, right? Go and watch his body shape when he's defending one-on-one. He's square. He's not side on. His body shape is all wrong. Saw it yesterday a mile off. Martinelli stood him up and took him on with absolute ease because his body shape from the get-go is all wrong.
Savva, no one, and I've been on this show as well, said it as well, and on my channels, on my platforms that I'm privileged to speak on, I've said it. He is not a great defender. I've never defended his defending. What I've said is he needs to improve. If he doesn't improve from now onwards, because the scrutiny is so much on him and has been over the international career and this season. If he doesn't improve his defending by the age of, let's say, 27, 28, then we can say that experiment...
27, 28?
Yeah, sure. Defenders, when do defenders peak? When do defenders...
Well,
Grizz, this is absolute nonsense, mate. Absolute nonsense.
Van Dijk.
This guy's
When
playing
did
for
Van
Liverpool
Dijk
Football
peak?
Club,
When
who
did
you've been
what age
saying
did
had the
Van
best
Dijk
right
peak?
back, left back, centre backs, all that
No,
shit in the
everybody.
world.
It's not
And now
linear.
he's getting
It's not
rolled
linear.
defensively. They're saying wait till he's 28 before you make a judgment.
Oh, you all woke up. You all woke up at the same time.
It's not linear. No, I'm just saying.
Very out of the same time.
All I'm saying.
Nobody wants to talk about Trent.
Wait.
Nobody wants to talk about Trent. What do you
Wait.
mean by that?
The rule. Hold on. The rule.
Where you
Okay,
going with
hold on. Hughie, hold on. One at a time. One at a time.
All right, let me get
so
the
Hughie,
key.
you finally woke up from your slumber. Hughie, what do you mean what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Trent, and I'm talking about defenders, fullbacks. What is the peak age? When do they peak? Most players, defenders, the likes of Maldini, all of these players, as any defender that you can name, peaked by the age of 24 at the best of his career.
No, but they should be a lot better defensively than Trent is right now.
No.
Exactly.
So they need to do what they need to do for their team to be successful, guys. However they are, whether they're weak defensively or weak attackingly, as long as it suits the team profile, that's what coaches look for. Of course, Savva, I absolutely agree with you that he hasn't improved defensively and the coach hasn't done enough with him defensively. No one is denying that point. What I'm trying to say is to write him off completely and say he's a failed defender, he's awful, is an overreaction. He's not great. He's not good to play for a team like Liverpool, to win the stuff that you play for Liverpool at the highest level. You need to have a certain level. To say that he's awful and he's finished and he's you basically turn him into a Sunday League defender. I thought that was over the top. That's what I said.
These things didn't happen though. Like no one wrote him off. No one said he's a Sunday League defender. No one said he's finished.
No, I said insinuated.
When Liverpool are all guns blazing, when you were on fire like last season for most of it, and a few years ago when you're winning things and you're dominating, Trent Alexander-Arnold is amazing in that formation. However, when he is asked to do his fundamental job, he cannot do it.
Can I ask one question? Okay, Savva, in those 5 years, do you think he's never been had to defend? It's been glaringly obvious now because the whole team has come to shit. The legs in midfield have run out. Older legs, not the same energy, not the same protection. I agree with that. Sometimes a player is only as good as the structure and tactics around him.
So that makes him a liability defensively.
And you can criticize. Yeah, you can. And I just said that you can criticize the coach for not fixing that. I agree with that.
I'm enjoying this.
If he wasn't a liability defensively, he wouldn't need that massive structure that you're talking about. The reason
every player needs that. For example, you can argue Reece James needs to play in a back five as opposed to a back four. He hasn't done very well when you played in a back four recently. Your current season suggests otherwise.
No, he started as a fullback.
But you're 11th. So are we going to
No. That's lazy analysis.
Exactly my point.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. He started off as a player in a back four. He's a right back. He became a wing back recently when we changed to wing back. When we changed to a wing-back system, then he developed into a wing-back. In fact, when you look at him physically, he's actually better to play full-back and not cover the whole length of the pitch. That's why he keeps picking up injuries.
Trent
started as a midfielder.
So you're not going to give him props? Okay, you're not going to give him
props. I'm going to give him props, but physically, the reason why Reece James is probably picking up so many injuries is because he's actually been pushed into wing-back. Yeah. So he was never actually a wing-back to start with. You can tell by the build of the player that he's not a wing-back. He became a wing-back. Trent started as a midfielder, which is why I always suggested, with how poor he is defensively, why do you not try him in midfield? So when you speak about Trent needing his praise, and I get, like I said, we know that Trent can cross, we know that Trent can assist, and we know Trent can't defend.
After that first 30 minutes where I agree with Savva that he was atrocious and he was embarrassing, very much like every single Liverpool player, after that, I truly believe he was magnificent. And that's all I said.
I think Klopp deserves more credit than anything. He's the one that moved him.
All right, listen, we are going to move it on now because we passed the hour mark. And Trent,
Savva, welcome to the Big Six.
25.
I enjoyed it, bro. I enjoyed it.
Let me work through the most recent super chats because the most recent ones are more on the subject of Trent, and then we'll get back into the
Of course. Super chats now.
Jones will have to extend his stay in Kenya.
Richard says every time Liverpool lose, the left wing gets man of the match. No one's asking Trent to be Cafu defensively. Just don't be Walcott at right back. Trent is only successful at that spot because he had someone covering him. Now that the rest of the defense hasn't had their inhalers, he's subpar. Brian says Trent can't defend for the past 2 seasons, and why they didn't address this and went on attacking spending spree is beyond me. Crow says, for a new guy to come to the panel and cook Grizz of all people like that, wow. Absolute scenes on the big 6. Replace Tobes with Savva. Still love Tobes. There's no chance of replacing Tobes with anyone, but listen, Savva.
Savva in.
I'm taking your number, my guy, and moving forward, we'll
Big
talk.
up Savva.
We'll talk. Grizz, big up HKN. You ain't been about in a little while, HKN. I don't know what's going on over there, but come shout, man. Grizz, you might have won more titles and Champions Leagues if you had a better defending right back.
My God, he's got the record amount of assists and goals. That's like proper HKN. You know we love you, innit? But you could have saved that $4 million.
He says, do you think Zinchenko gives Arsenal a problem similar to what Trent gives Liverpool? Amazing going forward, but has defensive problems in his game. Zinchenko is definitely more attack orientated. He adds more to the attack than defensively, but I don't think he's as bad defensively as Trent is, if I'm honest with you. That's how I see that one. With the James Trent debate, I agree that Reece is considerably better defensively. However, going forward, there is the same gap. Reece does not offer half of what Trent can. KD says,
no one's going to clap now.
KD says, so that means Kane won't be remembered as one of the best strikers of all time because he's never won anything, according to your logic about Liverpool, Sam. Let me just save these that have come in now because, listen, people, I've got a lot of super chats to get through. Hold your horses in terms of super chats. Grizz talking spicy, says Jason. He's ready for the New York trip. Unknown says it's okay for SAEED to criticize Arsenal players, but as soon as you go for Sancho Anthony, he cries.
What? How many times did you criticize them? Anthony. Yeah, man. Oh no, man. Keep your name unknown, innit?
I've got nothing but respect for you, Grizz, but let the record show that Savva cooked the great Grizz Khan. Big up to the man, them. Love for the love. Hey, yo, Turkish, we like this Savva guy, you know. Should keep him on the panel still. Welcome, man. Welcome, Savva. Matisse, let's talk Frank Lampard. You guys are getting slaughtered in Madrid. We're going to go on to the other clubs, and I'll save the super chats on the other clubs for the other clubs. Sultan says, I bet this guy thinks Liverpool shouldn't have sold Mane while he is stinking it out at Bayern. I think he is just lazy.
No, unfortunately, I was one of the ones that said we should have sold him.
Even if you look at fullbacks of the past, Marcelo and Alves, etc., they are known for their attacking threat. Both Alves and Marcelo were not good defensively. Not good that's harsh. That's harsh. I wouldn't say that the Alves and Marcelo were targeted in terms of their position defensively. All right, cool. I think
they were in games. They were in games.
Yeah. Big Ash says Holden played kind of well, but we missed Saliba. Had he played, the usual plan would have been to bring in Holden and go to a back 5 in the final 5 minutes. Not too sure. I think the game dictated going to a back 5. Arteta took the risk with Kivior. Jacob says, can we call Ramsdale world class yet? No. Unreal that he only cost the Gunners 24 mil. Unfortunate to draw, but still 6 points ahead. # we move forward. We can't be too quick. We don't need to put more pressure on our players anyway. We've got a young team. Move in silence. Let them just build. Let them cook. Abdullah says, Big Turkish and the panel. I fear to say we bottled it yesterday. We started well, but failed to continue. Some of our players started with a bad. The manager made some bad changes in the end. I have given up on the title win.
Whoa.
Given up. Don't give up too soon. Don't give up too soon, my guy. Very early. Very early. What do you guys think of the media saying Arsenal collapse has begun? Question for the Man City fan. Well, we're going to move on to Man City next, I believe. So, Hugh, keep that in mind. But the media do what the media do. They're always chatting. It won't be the first time Arsenal's collapse has begun this season, will it? It began after Old Trafford. It began after the Everton one. It began after City beat us at the Emirates. And here we are still asking, has it begun? Johnny says, never let Grizz be a bouncer with these age spotting skills.
You're not coming in, son.
Grizz thinking he's slick. You can't fool Math East.
MATISSE.
Oh,
That's
I
a new
like
one.
it.
There's always
Mad to
something
see
in it.
how far the big six has come. The amount of views is insane and deserved. Big up all of you. Chelsea aren't big six. Matisse out.
Wow.
All right.
In the months of just April and May, Company is the greatest centre back in Premier League history.
Listen,
FFA Gaming says we have gone back five. We have gone back five numerous times. Holding coming on is a signal for back five, but since we don't have Saliba, it was Kivior. This is just Anfield tax. Now, when Grizz asked me that, this season we haven't gone to a back five nearly as much as we did in the last couple seasons. Even off the top of my head, I think Leeds away, 1-0 up, we went to a back five. But even then, I think Holding came on for the last 10, 15 minutes. Aside from that, what other game have we gone to a back five in this season? I don't think any. But that's where Grizz's question was based. Leave Arteta and Xhaka alone, says Ricky. When Liverpool play like that at Anfield, the great Barcelonas and Uniteds can't survive. Arsenal held on for a point. And Kareem says Grizz is wrong. Arsenal go to back five to see out games are bringing on Holding all the time. No, not this season. Oh, prove me wrong on that. Chelsea away, bro. Didn't he come on with like 2 minutes to go against Chelsea away? I'm sure he came on with like a minute or two to go against Chelsea. Someone check that for me.
Who?
Holding. Like, if he's coming on with a minute or two to go, that's not going to a back five to see out a game. That's just wasting time while the clock runs, if I'm honest. Blue Moon says, question for everyone. Who bottle it first, Arsenal or City? Turkish, I know Arsenal and your fans will crack first. Thanks for the title race. Still hear me, yeah? Because my internet's kind of moving a bit crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah?
Yeah, you're in and out, but you're okay now.
Cool. What's going on with this? Emil says, want to see a better backup centre back than Holding for next season. Why not play Tomiyasu or Ben White? Could have played instead of Holding. Well, Tomiyasu's injured, my guy. Otherwise, that would have been an option. Can we also...
Yeah, he's gone, in it. Yeah, title hope's gone. Matisse take over, innit?
I don't have the facilities.
Oh,
you are the captain now.
How am I the captain? I don't even have...
Are you not in the studio?
No, I'm not logged in.
There's the...
I cannot.
At Virgin tomorrow, you know. I'm gonna fucking.
Everybody's complaining about Virgin Media.
I was that close to sign up to them, man.
Yo, Virgin Media are catching hella smoke on Twitter right now, you know.
Yeah,
I was about to sign up to them.
Same. I was gonna take over hosting, you know. I was gonna start the Trent debate again, you know. Like Turkish is gone. Let me deal with Savva again then. Round 2.
I don't have the facilities.
Round 2.
Oh, he's frozen again. No, he's here.
No, I'm here.
Yeah, you're with us.
HW says, can we also appreciate Gabriel Magalhaes' performance and Konate's performances, by the way? Mental performances by both two of the best centre-backs already been mentioned.
100%.
Mary says, evening, respects to the panel. Who's taking billing next season? Could probably drag Tottenham to a cup and replace Milner, Xhaka or McTominay.
Big up Zaberi. Zaberi is my co-host on the Calling Show, so big up Zaberi.
Kobayashi. Turkish, of course, Arteta has gone to... Yes, he's gone to a back five in previous seasons. Not this season as much. Aside from the Leeds game, I can't remember another game he's done it.
People think you don't watch the game.
It's mad. Or prove me wrong in the comments. I'm sure against Chelsea he came on for a couple of minutes, and he came on a few other games for a couple of minutes. That's not going to a back five. That's different. Rom says either side could have won that. 2-2's a fair result. Big up SAEED, Grizz, and the rest of the panel.
Big up Roms.
Cole says, who does everyone think the next Tottenham manager should be? Hey, we've discussed
Savva for me. For me, Savva, hands down.
when we touching on Tottenham, Savva, remember this question for that one, yeah? The piece is spot on. Xhaka didn't do anything. Trent started by sprinting to Xhaka and woke the fans. Clever, but Liverpool would have woke up at some point anyways. Ryan says, Arteta has to take responsibility for the substitutions, especially taking Odegaard off for Kivior. This is why I'm still on the fence with Arteta, as his management is still questionable. Martinelli and Jesus, obviously stars of the show. Was Xhaka at fault for the first goal? If Arsenal go in at halftime 2-0 up, the game is done. Love the show. We will have the last laugh in May. KD said it was crazy. All of a sudden, you just felt it shift completely. It was actually palpable. 1 minute later, a goal, and then Anfield is a cauldron. Margit says, if Virgil van Dijk didn't play for Liverpool, then would people agree no centre-back in the Prem has reached a higher level? If Virgil van Dijk didn't play for Liverpool, then would more people agree no? I don't think people are disagreeing because he plays for Liverpool, but I don't know where you got that from. Guna says, have you guys seen Matisse's therapy session? The poor guy is broken. Chelsea strip club ain't twerking no more. I actually think Arsenal harmed themselves with the time wasting, etc. Without that, I think they score a third. Time waste, 85 minutes plus, not on 50 minutes. Arteta has cost Arsenal with the subs. Jorginho would have managed the game better if he was brought on. I get you. In hindsight, we look at it and we want different. But like Savva said, it just feels like one of those games where whatever you do, it's not really going to change things. But who knows? Who knows? What's happened has happened. It's history now. Ryan, again, disappointed, deflated, frustrated with that result yesterday, Turks. Xhaka moment isn't the reason why we lost the game, but it definitely had an influence on the way the majority of the game played out. Yeah, I'd agree with that. Sultan, Grizz, Hugh, when we were battling for the title, would you have taken a point at the Emirates? Anfield is a humbler, crumbler. Richard, again, weird how Toby's doing more dodging than Vince Vaughn in dodgeball since Grealish has been cooking. Anfield was silent for 40 minutes. Grealish has been cooking, I can't even lie. Amir says, league leaders Arsenal thought they could come out and grab 3 points. This is Anfield. Klopp's worst Liverpool too. Probably the one he walked in on was the worst Liverpool, but yeah. Bruce says, provided City win their game in hand, if Arsenal draw at City and draw at Newcastle, we still win the league by 2 clear points. Still in our hands. Yes, that is true. What that result against Liverpool has done means we have to get something out of Etihad. And although Etihad is not Anfield, City are not Liverpool either. So it's hard to really take anything from the performance yesterday and say we can do it against Man City. We'll have to see. Brian says, is it still going to be considered Big Six without Matisse and Grizz next season? Judging on the fact that both seem to be fighting for mid-table positions, well, we will miss them, but let's subscribe. Listen, Big Six is Big Six, regardless of positions in the table. The term comes from the amount of money they make. And by they, I mean all of the Big Six clubs. I'm not hearing any excuses, says Sultan. This is the worst Liverpool side in the last 7 years, and you got battered before the game. You lot were talking the most. Well, if the team top of the table can't talk the most after 29 games played, then who can, Sultan? Blaming Granit for the goal is silly. Defending at that point was beyond poor, and the ball luckily fell into Salah's path of a deflection of Henderson. Luckily, I think Gabriel took a step forward when, that was probably the moment it kind of opened up for Salah. But I'm not blaming Gabriel for it, but in that moment, it created a little bit of an open. Should Trent be playing in Veta? Don't even talk to me about Trent right now before we get going. We fell victim to the crowd occasion against his Ajit. Best chance to win at Anfield. Ramsdale with world-class save. Just hope City trip up with Champions League scheduling. Fingers crossed. Just Waffling says, it stings to say, but Anfield is a humbler. Tough miss, but I think if he stays fit over time, Konate's ceiling is higher than Saliba's. What of the game, not the league, says TBG. I've seen United fans celebrating Liverpool goals. Look in the mirror. Etihad isn't a foregone conclusion. We've supposedly bottled the title 15 times this year, so we'll see. We'll see. They got the man them. Certain Told was saying Thiago made Liverpool worse yesterday. What a take, to be honest. Get well soon. Turkish, you said 3-1. I did say 3-1. What's your point? Anyone who blames Xhaka for the draw doesn't understand football. Liverpool always have a spell at Anfield and the pressure was inevitable. The midfield three, Saka, White and Zini, all. But Odegaard and Xhaka, I'm with you. Saka, I'm with you. Ben White, I think he got harshly yellow carded for a completely legitimate tackle, and that kind of impacted his game moving forwards. But yeah, rude gentleman. Didn't know Tobes suffered him by Talago like Michael Jackson. Lord of mercy, big up Savva. Real football man. Hope you enjoy your debut, my guy. He's enjoying. Ash says we started well, but once Anfield starts rocking, it's hard to reverse the momentum. I think Mikel would make different subs if he had the chance. So do I. Couple more here. Jason says, "Gotta admit, Anfield is a humbler. If we miss out on this, I'm looking back at the Everton and Southampton games. Ain't no way we can lose them." Marcus, in real early, this super chat came in first. Arsenal were crap Sunday, was horrible. 30 minutes of good does not justify 60 minutes of getting mashed up. Football goes hand in hand with humiliation. And 40 says, "Love Jesus, but he misses a few too many chances. He has to score that first opportunity he missed." Yeah, he has to, but he still did make it 2-0. And from there, yeah, it is what it is. So Atletico is top three clubs, then Champions League finals as trophies. Spurs mentality, Grizz. He's awful defensively, end of story. Delph was a better fullback. And I think that's it. We have moved on. So let me get rid of this one here. And let's move on. Liverpool, no European football. Okay, cool. Let's move. Considering we talked about Arsenal, let's go to Manchester City as well next. HUGH, you've closed the gap. Haaland's hit 30 goals. All's looking quite well at the moment with Bayern Munich coming up tomorrow.
Yeah, listen, I saw that super chat there saying, Arsenal hope that the Champions League schedule is going to make it tough for us, and I actually feel different about it. I don't like the idea of playing one game a week. I don't like having to, wait 7 days if you've drawn or you lost, like you have to do now for another game and we have to play before you again in the league. I like City thrive at this stage of the season of back to back to back every 3 days. But listen, Southampton, great performance. I was nervous about that game. And for the wider population, it may not seem that big. City go down to Southampton, bottom of the table, and slap them up 4-1, no big deal. But that's been a bogey team for us. Southampton has been a real bogey team for us over the years, and they've already beaten us this season. So we need to go down there, keep our cool, keep our composure, and we did that. Listen, I don't think we ever had to hit top gear. I don't think we hit top gear at all in that game. I think we just did our thing. We took our chances, and listen, the two people I want to highlight the most are, first of all, Erling Haaland. This guy's absolutely insane. Like, for people who say this guy's a tapping merchant, neither of those goals he scored were tap-ins. That second goal, like, that is world class stuff. This guy's an absolute machine, and he could be the difference now between us going on to win this title or the Champions League for that matter, because he's just that clinical. And the second man I want to big up, I wish Toby was here, man. I wish Toby was here, because Jackie G&A, man. I've been calling this guy Jackie G&A and I don't like it. His stats ain't crazy, but his stats show in the big games. He's turning up in the big moments. I said off the back of our international break there that with no Phil Foden because of his appendix issue, we need an attacking player to stand up and fill that void. Foden was our second top scorer. Jack Grealish is standing up. Game-winning assist at Chelsea. Goal at United. Goal at Arsenal. G&A against Liverpool. G&A against Southampton. He's turning up. He's absolutely cooking. He's meant for this level. But listen, it was a fantastic performance. 3 great goals. 1 world-class goal. And like I said, it's one game at a time. We're doing our thing. You've opened the door. I felt with that Liverpool game that if you had won that, I was with you. You would have had one hand on the title, and I would have said, "Oh, it's looking rough now," because the psychological boost you would have got from that would have been huge. But now the door is open again, and I wanted a big performance at Southampton before you went to Liverpool, because if we're looking relentless, it puts more pressure on you. If we're not just beating teams, scraping 1-0s, we're slapping teams up. That's 4-4, 6 and 7 goals we've scored in our last 4 games. We're playing the best football we've played in a long time. I don't mean just this season. I mean over the last 4 or 5 seasons, we're playing some of the best football. So it's looking good, man. It's looking good for Man City. We turn our attention. Bayern Munich, big game tomorrow. And then we've got Leicester at home on Saturday. A game I think we should win. But yeah, man, huge performance down there. Huge performance.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I did say if we won at Anfield, we'd have one hand on the trophy. But now the way we are playing, a loss at Etihad, goal difference ain't looking good. So we can't rely upon goal difference come the end of this season, if I'm honest. So we're going to have to go Etihad. We're going to have to get a draw. But City are firing back-to-back 4-1 wins. And Haaland is due to break the Premier League record. So he's also got a personal incentive to make sure he gets the ball in the back of the net in the next few games. You do have FA Cup still, so I believe by the time we go to Etihad, you'll have 2 games in hand on us. So it's important for us to beat West Ham and then beat Southampton leading up to Etihad, because then the points difference with those games in hand will look good on the board and put a bit more pressure on City. I know you're used to it. I know you've done it before. You are right. I've seen it myself. But that's the least Arsenal can do right now, is get 6 out of 6 in the next 2. And coming up to Etihad, that will put us, even with you guys winning your next game, that'll put us, it's currently 6. You'd be 9 points ahead. You'd have 2 games in hand, but would be 9 points ahead. So even a win for City, it'd cut it to 6 with your 2 games in hand. But that's all I can hope for right now. The Etihad one's going to be huge, but we can't step up before that. And Haaland, I mean, breaking records at this age. What is he? 22.
22, yeah. Listen, the guys are freaky.
19.
I've never seen anything like this guy before. He had 12 touches. He had 12 touches in that whole game. Scored 2 goals, one being an overhead kick, and he dips off. He's like, "Nah, I've done my bit. I've scored 2 goals. You know, we've won the game. It's chilling." And we can do that now. We can do that. We can take him off, rest him, bring on Alvarez. He scores then too. We have 2 world-class strikers in the ranks. He's a freak, man. He's gonna, if as long as he doesn't get a bad injury between now and the end of the season, he should break Salah's record. Is Andy Cole that has 34 before Premier League? He should break that too. He's a huge part now. He's a huge piece of what we're doing going forward. But yeah, listen, that we have a tough schedule. We do have a tough schedule, and like I said, traditionally, and I think right now we're showing it too. We do thrive off that. That Sheffield United game, I'm saying, with all due respect to Sheffield United, I would like to see rotation with the Arsenal game around then too. I'd like to see rotation, but no, it's looking good, man. We're playing well. We're playing really, really well.
As a fellow, as a watcher from afar this season, this is what Man City do. We've been speaking about it. They look imperious right now, like proper battle-hardened, strong strong, squad full. I think you haven't got any long-term injuries, have you? Not many.
Everybody's fit except Phil Foden, who's back next week.
Yeah, so he's timed it, and this is where Pep's. Of course, we know Pep's an elite coach, but what he's learned over the years is how to make his team peak right in the last 3-4 months. He's one of the best at that. I think it's all primed for you lot to win the Champions League this season.
Listen. God willing, man. God willing. We'll see. I don't even.
God now, yeah. Oh God now, yeah.
I need it at this stage. You know what I mean?
They're in trouble, man.
Don't you think so, SAEED? I think it's all geared up to win the treble, the Champions League. Wipe it, man. Take it away, Man City. I don't see a team stopping them. I don't see a team stopping them. Nah.
Bayern could come to the Etihad tomorrow. They could. They're that good. They could come to the Etihad and do a number. But I think you're right. You're right about the Norwegian meat feast.
Nah, no one's stopping him, brother. No one's stopping him.
The lit is here, man.
Oh, get out of here, the lit, man.
Upper Meccano.
Yeah, Upper Meccano.
Have you any super chats on the subject? Deja vu, blue shark from the water, beware. PS, ask Liverpool and United what to do next. Do next about what? Blue Moon. If we can win tomorrow, we can look forward to the Premier League games upcoming. In my opinion, we will slap Bayern tomorrow. And it's good to see Grizz rattled.
If you think I'm rattled, Kevin Campbell still don't know me, innit? Come on, Kevin Campbell, man.
Why are we asking Man United what to do next? They haven't been in a title.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just kept.
I've won 2 titles since Man United have won a title. Why Man United?
Why are you stressing on him, man? I just wanted to just leave that super chat and
Liverpool, I get. Man United, I don't get why they were putting that super chat.
We're coming, man. We're coming, man. Come on, man.
We're coming.
And this one's on the.
It's cooking something, man.
How long are you saying that for?
This one's on the previous subject. Mervan says Turkish is right. Holding played 1 minute versus Fulham, 2 minutes versus Villa,
Facts.
8 minutes versus Leeds, 1 minute versus Chelsea, 3 minutes versus Brighton, 1 minute versus United, and 1 again versus Villa. He's been a time wasting sub. Diallo, listen, I see you in the chat. Big supporter of my channel and the content I do. We haven't gone to a back 5 like that this season. Only the Leeds game where, look, he got 8 minutes. I would say we went to a back 5. 1, 2, 3 minutes is not going to a back 5. It's more, like he said, a time-wasting sub more than anything. Mikey says, Dean Smith and John Terry announced that Leicester, as per Fabrizio Romano, maybe a new manager bounce for Leicester after Bayern versus City. Oof. Oh, yeah.
Leicester are bad.
What are you saying, Matisse? Can your legend do it? Can your legend do it for us?
Who's playing Leicester next? City?
Yeah.
We got them at home.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
You don't want to see your guy win, no?
No, I don't give a damn.
Don't tell him, man. They don't care, man. You see what he did, man?
I don't give a damn.
You don't care.
After he slipped, you don't want to know him.
All right, cool. Everyone thinks City beat Bayern. Savva.
Yeah, I do. Excuse me. Yeah, I think Man City are. Everyone's been trashing them all season, and it's almost as though, as football fans, we forget patterns. Like Man City, all right, they may have dropped off a bit further this year than what they normally do in terms of performance, but they always come with this run of games. They always put together a 15-20 run sequence. And I said to Rance when I was on with him the other day that I almost felt like Pep was almost getting bored at the beginning of the season. It felt like he was playing football manager with himself. It was almost like, right, I've got all these players. Why don't I bench Walker and Bernardo Silva and Diaz, and I'm going to put in all these younger players and I'm just going to try all these different tactics. And then when he realized that it's not that Arsenal were actually serious this year, he kind of went back to this. Only my perception. I mean, you might tell me I'm wrong, but it's almost like then he went back to the tried and tested, and now they're doing what Man City do. They look absolutely brilliant, and I think the big thing is Haaland's coming for a lot of stick this year as to he makes City look worse. I actually think it was just like anything in life. I think it was City needing to get used to how Haaland played, Haaland needing to get used to how City played, and that's clicked. And now they just look ridiculous. Like it's not normal football. They just look ridiculous. And I've been saying for a few months, I quietly fancy a treble for them. I do, because I think in years gone by, hang on. Let me explain. I think in years gone by, I think lots of people have said it from the get-go. Oh my God, City are in every competition, they're going to win it. And I think this year it's not been talked about, but just quietly they're going about their business. They're going to get to the FA Cup final. I don't think there's going to be any giant killing there from Sheffield United because you're not Spurs. Right? I think you're going to get to the FA Cup final. I genuinely believe you're better than Bayern Munich. And I genuinely believe that you will win the league because you've got the game in hand, and the big game which is going to settle this title is going to be Man City versus Arsenal at the Etihad. And I've got no doubt that Man City will slap Arsenal to pieces in that game. So I think I just think they look brilliant. Listen, will they do the treble? I don't know, but it's creeping up, and they look formidable. They truly look formidable right now, and it's not just 2-0 wins and 1-0 wins. They're slapping everybody. So look, I don't care. I'm not a Man City fan, but
oh no, man.
I just
I'm not sure.
I
mean, look.
Do you want to lose another debate? Is that what's happening here?
No, it's all about participating.
Savage.
Savage. That's what you call now. Savage.
It's not.
That's savage.
It's about participating on the show, man. We all make it polite for a new guest. Nice welcome. But I don't think anyone's unnoticed Man City. Like Man City, like everyone knows, they peak around January, and that's exactly what they've been doing. Getting over the finishing line in Champions League is going to be the biggest. Yeah, sure. The only thing in their mind or head, in my opinion, will be, the cup final, of course, the FA Cup final. And you're right, they're clear favourites for the FA Cup final. The league, we can discuss it all day and all night. That game, that points gap, only time will tell. But the key one, and where I agree with you, in terms of what makes the treble, or at the very least a double look very likely, is the Champions League. And the fact that there's no outstanding team. There's a couple of favourites. There's Man City, Bayern, Napoli, Real Madrid. Apart from that, there's no outstanding teams where you can say they're clear favourites. And this is where I think, and I obviously always banter Hughie about Champions League, but I genuinely do believe it this time. I'm not trolling him.
Can I just say something, Grizz, just really quickly? Like, listen, a lot of people will say, because of what I've just said, is anti-Arsenal. I'm not anti-Arsenal at all. I'm going to be honest with you, right? As a Spurs fan, I'm jealous of what Arsenal have done this year.
Absolutely.
Now, you probably won't get many Spurs fans that admit that, but I'm not anti-Arsenal. I think if whoever wins the league deserves it. If Arsenal go on to win this league, I'll be the first person to say, do you know what? Hats off to you, because last year, like, we were above them, and the swing to be 20 points above us after finishing 2 points behind us. We got Champions League, they didn't. The swing, I'm jealous of that swing. So this isn't about hating Arsenal. I was talking about how good I think City are. So I don't, anyone will get to know me. I'm not a biased fan. I'm not like, oh my God, I hate Arsenal. I don't particularly.
Maybe we do need to replace Tobes. Let me think about
it. I'm not anti-Arsenal. I think if Arsenal win it, fair play to them. You play great football. I just feel like that know-how at this time of the season, Pep's got it. That whole City squad have got it. All of them have got it, barring a few players. So I don't know. I just feel like yesterday was a big turning point. But if Arsenal pick anything up at the Etihad, I think they win it. I just don't think they will. I think City look scary, if I'm honest. Everyone's scary compared to Spurs, but I just think in general, City look very good.
Spurs probably get shit scared of their own shadow. Like in Spurs.
Yeah, we don't like trophies either. We're scared of shiny things. Don't worry.
Listen, people, there's 7.3k in the building. We've just passed the 90-minute mark, so we're going to whiz through the other results. But listen, Savva's on the road to 5k. He's less than 100 away from 4k. I think we can make 4k happen tonight.
Let's do it, man. I've just subscribed.
Cheers, guys.
Go subscribe, people. Less than 100 away from 4k. He's on the road to 5k. If you haven't already, it's a good debut from Savva. First time I'm speaking to him, I'll be subscribing too. So make sure you show him some love, as well as the rest of the team, as always. Matisse, Tobes, Grizz, SAEED, and HUGH, THUGGERY, the Big Six channel. All of that's in the description. Follow us on the socials at the Big Six Show, and make sure you show the sponsor some love. Manscaped TV 620 is the code for 20% off. Go on Manscaped website, grab something, and then put that code in. They know you're coming through us. So do that, people, and hit the like button. I think we've hit 2k, if I'm not mistaken. If we haven't, we haven't even hit 2k. Let's make sure we hit 2k. We're on 1.7. I'm afraid City are going to win all of their league games, including ours. That's why I'm not hopeful about the title. I wish I'm wrong. Fingers crossed, says Abdullah. I hope you're wrong too. Much respect for listening to my words, says about not letting that chicken head. Tobes back on the Big Six. Big up Savage Savva, real football man, no agendas. Well, I'm sure you're going to love to hear that Tobes is back on Thursday. Mourinho was hated at Chelsea for buying the best players and winning. Isn't it hypocritical that Pep is considered elite for doing the same thing, but via a visibly attractive style compared to Jose? Ricky, I think that, I think the amount of money spent has been brought up multiple times when discussing Pep and the clubs he's been at and so on. So I think it's a bit unfair to say it hasn't been used against him and it was just used for Jose. I think it's used equally amongst both of them. But you also mentioned the style of football played, and regardless of the amount of money spent, that style of football and the way he's essentially changed football across the world, Pep has, since he's first become a manager. You've got to give him his props. Joe says City's game in hand reminds me of 2013-14 season. When Arsenal drop points, City will know exactly what they have to do. Rogers remembers. Cool. That's the super chats in. Next up, let's keep it on Sav. Tottenham Brighton 2-1 win, but the referee association, PGMOL, all of that nonsense, they've come out to apologize about a few decisions. And that's putting it lightly. A couple penalties not given, a couple goals disallowed when we're looking at the replays thinking, how the fuck was that disallowed? But Tottenham did it in a game that what was a 6-pointer if we're talking about top 4 finishes or potential European place finish for Brighton. It's a big loss for them. But Savva, what did you make of it all?
I thought we were very, very, very lucky to have maybe one decision go for you is, okay, we'll take it. I think Brighton will feel gutted. There was 3 or 4 massive decisions that didn't go their way. I think it made a whole mockery of VAR. But do you know what? More than anything, look, yeah, the 3 points was important. If top 4 is the goal, I'm not really a top 4. It doesn't do anything. We get top 4 and then don't kick on. But the actual game itself, Turkish. I mean, I don't know. Watching Spurs play is horrific. It's absolutely horrific. It's the worst football I've ever seen. And at one point, we had 27% possession in the first half against Brighton at home. Now, listen, I think Brighton are a fantastic club that, work within their means. They've got a clear plan, a clear strategy, a clear structure. Their scouting is second to none. But 27% in the first half at home I don't know.
Criminal.
Listen, it is criminal. Listen, as a Spurs fan, I know what we are and what we're not. I'm not expecting us to win leagues. I'm not expecting us to win trophies every year. But when I grew up watching Spurs, it was the likes of Glenn Hoddle and Waddle. And, then we moved into players like David Ginola and, Modric. And what I'm watching now is just absolutely disgusting. It's not football. So, look, lots of people think I'm not a real Spurs fan because I say this, but I don't like watching my team play anymore. And it's becoming tough. Yeah, it's bad, man. It's really, really bad. And I think 5th place. Look, you are where you are, right, in the league. You are where you deserve to be with points. But I think it really flatters us to be seen as a contender for the top 4. And I don't think it speaks highly of the Premier League that a club like Tottenham, with players like Eric Dyer and Ben Davis and Højbjerg and Skip, are potentially going to be representing the Premier League in the Champions League next year. It's tough.
I'd like Newcastle and Brighton or Aston Villa to get the last 2 places. If Man United are feeling charitable as well, then Newcastle and Brighton and Aston Villa, give them a crack, give them a go. Give them a go. Huh? What'd you say?
I said, look what your season's come, man. Desperation, innit? Mad.
It's not desperation. I mean, Brighton plays some good football. They got robbed.
Brighton should have won, man.
Matoma was a clear foul. Do you know what I mean?
How is that a foul? How is that a disallowed goal when he got pushed as well, by the way? Like, I don't understand that. Like, listen, refereeing is going to be refereeing, man. This is every Monday we get into just a statement. Yeah, we're sorry. Like, we don't want sorry, man. Get proper referees, man. You know what I mean? Everyone can be sorry, man. You know what I mean? And that's the difference, man. Literally, that was the difference in the game. Spurs got all decisions go their way. Brighton didn't. And then you got away with it. You know what I'm saying? So
do you know what I said, Saeed? I've said this for years about Spurs, right? If you take a team like Brighton, if you give them our attack, if you take their 2 forwards and put in Kane and Son, yeah, they're going to be in a title race because they play brilliant football. They defend well. They look good, great shape, good pressing. But what they lack is that killer instinct. We've got that, and that's the only reason we win games is because of magical moments from people like Son and more often than not Harry Kane. But if you were to take Harry Kane out of this Tottenham team, I'm telling you, this is why I don't laugh. Like lots of Spurs fans are like, oh, let's laugh at Chelsea, let's laugh at Liverpool, let's laugh at this. I'm like, what are we laughing at? Like, you take Harry Kane out of this team, we are where Crystal Palace are. I think we're that bad. I think we're that bad. And Harry Kane, again, is carrying us with, what's he got, 23 Premier League goals now, maybe? 23, 24? Yeah. So, yeah, listen, it's tough being a Spurs fan. It's not fun at all. It's not enjoyable to watch.
With your fixtures coming up, are you still confident for top 4? Listen, you know what I mean? It's one of them. Newcastle have tough fixtures as well. You know, as much as they're on a roll, do you still think you're confident for top 4? Or are you just kind of like, it is what it is? Like, I'm not bothered if we get it. If we do, then fair enough. You're not competing anyway.
Yeah, listen, I'm of that opinion. I know people, lots of people are right now, right? Everything is like, it must be right now. But I've seen Spurs get Champions League multiple times now and never using it as a platform to progress. Whereas a Newcastle, if they got it this year, can you imagine they're going to use it as a platform to really kick on? Spurs will get it. Daniel Levy will tell everyone, oh, there you go, we've succeeded, we've got top 4. Fans will the word 4 will be used all summer as full. Okay, brilliant. But then we won't go and buy players to take us to the next level. If you look at all the signings Tottenham make when we get Champions League football, there's no one in there that you'd say, well, we probably couldn't have signed that player with Europa League football. You know, we don't kick on. So great, we'll get 4th. Okay, let's brag about that, and then we'll do what we do every year. We won't sign top players, and then we'll go again, and then we'll finish fourth again, and everyone will think that's amazing. So I don't really care for top four. In all honesty, I think we could do with some rebuilding. I think we need a reset. I think the club needs a clear path, a strategy, a process put in place, and top four papers over all the cracks at the football club. That's just me. People all say that's negative. I can see loads of people saying, am I really a Spurs fan? That's cool. I'm 40 years of age, and this is one of the worst I've ever seen us play. It's atrocious.
Long may it continue. you know what from Savva. Sorry, I'm so used to Tobes, Savva, that.
No, you're right. But listen, it's why, like, when I go on to Spurs shows and it's like, people are like, oh my God, can we take a minute to laugh at Chelsea? And I'm like, hang on. This is the most decorated club in England in the last 2 decades. We've won a League Cup in 22 years. What am I laughing at? Like,
and they're trying to kick me off the show. The comments. You see what I'm saying? People forget fast, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, bro, it's insane.
I think it's an age thing, Matisse. I think it's an age thing, right? I've been through this with Spurs for decades and decades, and nothing's changing. It's just Harry Kane keeps scoring goals. When Harry Kane stops scoring goals, or when Harry Kane leaves this football club, then we will see what Tottenham Hotspur are made of. Yeah, and at the moment, he's paping over cracks week in, week out with goals, and Son to a lesser extent.
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know if this super chat is Spurs related, but Mouse says, I don't understand why we play so badly. I haven't seen an overlapping run in months. United City get
Turkish is gone, isn't it? United and City get those decisions all the time. Rodri handball. So I don't know who he is.
What's going on about that? That Rodri handball, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man.
I mean, if we're not able to finish the show, I'm
about to throw my wheel on the fucking wall in a minute. That's
can we actually take a moment to laugh at Chelsea?
Turkish is not.
No, he's fine.
He's not able to finish.
If Turkish goes, I'll take over.
How will you do that without the keys?
Oh, you don't know.
You don't have the keys to the whip.
I have magic powers. Don't go anywhere.
You don't have the keys to the whip, bro.
Turkish is back anyway. Look,
we'll carry it on to the next show.
No, but look, Super Chels.
Don't worry, I got a backup here, so I'm still here. I got a backup. We're good.
Yay.
What is this, man? Big 6+1 sub.
I mean, if you're expecting me to speak, then I will not.
What the hell?
We moved on to Wolves Chelsea, yeah? All right, cool.
Of course you got to speak on your club.
Nah, do you know what? I've seen you many a time open it up to the floor, so I'm opening up to the floor. I have nothing.
I see that how you do.
I've spoken all season. What more do you want from me now? What do you want me to say? There's nothing to say.
This is a new era.
Which era?
This is Super Frankie Lampard, proper Chels.
Yeah, it's fucking it's great. It's great. I've got my Stella over there.
Yeah, that's what did he do different? He changed the formation. Apparently, he brought in Gallagher.
Mm-hmm.
Did you agree with that?
And you saw what happened, right? 4-3-3.
Did you agree with that? 4-3-3, change the formation.
I didn't agree with it, but I knew it would happen. So, it was obvious. That's his formation. He loves it.
You know what's bad about Chelsea? I don't even know where they are in the league.
We're 11th.
11th. See,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I didn't even know. I thought, you know what I mean? It's mad. Like, maybe Crystal Palace might get a chance of overtaking you. You're literally.
They've won 2 out of their last 2. They scored 5 goals at the weekend.
Still not 40 points. Still not 40 points.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, bro, like the vibes, it's not there. Like Super Frankie Lampard, you know what I mean? I did.
Do you remember when Tobes was telling me I was being disingenuous by saying that I need 40 points? I was being silly.
Yeah, I kind of left that.
Can I get some flowers now? Can I get some flowers?
I didn't think that was serious. I was like, nah, that's a gimmick.
People thought
it's real.
It's
real,
real, man. It's not real. I'll give you credit. It's 9 games to go. 10 games to go. They need a point. Come on.
All I'm saying is, man, Chelsea ain't guaranteed no wins right now. They're guaranteed absolutely nothing. No, they will be fine. But I'm just saying, like,
if we finish the season,
can you tell me where you think the next win is coming from?
The next home game.
No. What do you mean the next?
Who's your next home game?
Brighton. Why would we win the next home game?
Frank Lampard coming home.
We have Brighton. We have Brighton, Manchester United, Brentford. The last 8 games, 6 of them are teams above us. We have to play Arsenal away, City away, Newcastle at home.
Yeah, but you're going to get a point in it. What I'm saying
is... but the point is... the point is that me asking for 40 points and us finishing on 45, that doesn't mean that I was silly, because, I mean, we've just scraped it, right? So when Chelsea statistically have never finished... what was this? So I was born in 97. Let me tell you a story. You want me to speak?
We're ready.
I was born in 97, right? Chelsea in 96. It's the first Premier League season of 38 games. We finished 11th with 50 points. This Chelsea team was on 39 points. They're not going to get 50 points. This will be statistically the worst Chelsea team since we started playing 38 games. The season before was 42 games, and we finished 11th as well. So this is the worst team I've ever seen since I flew out the womb, since I opened my eyes for the first time, since I spoke English. Now I'm learning Chinese. This team is the worst team. And this is not a pre-Roman banter sesh, because pre-Roman, we finished 3rd in the 90s. We finished 5th. We finished 6th. We won some FA Cups. That's not where we are. This is prehistoric. Black and white TVs. This is Division 1 settings.
This is Car Park FC. This is Car Park.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't know why you're laughing. This is, you know what I mean?
Serious. Serious. And the trajectory is down.
Remember Coca-Cola?
The trajectory. The only reason why I think we might stabilize is maybe Crystal Palace will leapfrog us and Fulham might come down because Mitrovic is suspended.
Fulham a bit.
Look at where Aston Villa are. Look at where Aston Villa is.
Is it fair to say, in a season where I've got a lot wrong, did I get this one right about Chelsea? Long season, when I told you at the start. It's just a yes/no answer. It's not that deep.
I mean, I think it's self-explanatory. It's been long. It's been a long season.
But
it's also been a long season for you, but you didn't predict that.
I just said that, innit? I just said that. In a season of where I got a lot wrong, right? Did I get that right? Now, how do we fix this? Like with the ownership, who's the new coach?
End of season, brother.
Who's stepping in? Who do you think is favourite? And how will he change? And how will the owner get out of the coach's way? Because I think essentially that's what you need to do now. Your next coach needs to be in charge, fully focused on the team. And Todd Bowley needs to step out of the limelight because it seems like he just wants that limelight.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we need to appoint someone as soon as possible. You know, when I said last show, it doesn't matter if he wins the Champions League, if he wins every game to the end, I don't want him in charge. So he's interim and he has to stay interim. For me, the situation has flipped this weekend from us interviewing to them interviewing us. I think Enrique should interview us. Ask us what we're doing. Ask us, can we be trusted? Ask 100%. Us, is it worth his time? Are you going to listen to him? Are you going to invest in him? And I'm not talking about I'm not talking about buying players. I'm talking about actually just invest in terms of listening skills, in terms of, you know, structure and stability around him. Are you going to sack the canteen lady when we've got the diet plan for Madrid, or are you going to keep that the same? And you know, these are the conversations. I don't want to talk about any more players coming in. I just want to talk about new manager. Who do you want to keep? Who do you want to sell? Get rid of as many players as he wants to get rid of as possible, and we go from there. Every time I see we have signed a new Venezuelan 15-year-old, I don't care. I'm not interested.
Venezuela, you know.
I'm not interested. Real Madrid, there's nothing to say.
Brazilian kid.
No.
Lampard said, if you don't believe, stay at home. Which you're gonna do anyway.
Does he really believe? I mean, listen. I don't know who he was talking to when he said that, but I found out today that his UEFA A license is what he has. Michael Carrick has got pro license. Gerrard has pro license.
That's your man there.
I would like him to, after this is all done, go and do the pro license. Take the time out to rest and recover, because he's come back with thick black hair and new teeth. And when we're finished with him this season, it's going to be a long day back to the Greys. So, I don't question why we brought him in, because I know it's a PR stunt and I know it's interim and it's vibes and it's meant to be happy. Funnily enough, there was no vibes over the weekend. We played awfully. It was our worst performance since the weekend before. Or maybe even the Tuesday, because against Liverpool it was disgusting as well. But I question why he came back. You know, I know you love the club, but do you not love yourself? It just doesn't make any sense. There's not enough self care going on
Resurrected
here.
his career, man. He's resurrected his career.
This is not going to do anything for his CV. It's only going to make it worse. So
Kerry Dixon sends.
I'm confused. I'm very confused. I have nothing more to say. I'm not going to get into individual players. I think at this point, when you're 11th, what is the point, really?
And the whole team's rubbish. The whole team's rubbish.
No, the whole team's not rubbish, funnily enough. This team should not be 11th. That's one thing I'm not going to subscribe to. You give this team to a serious coach and actually trim the squad down to something where people can all change in the same changing room and can eat at the same tables in the canteen. And
yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're waffling now.
We actually stabilize. This team will respond. So I'm not really worried too much. It's just Todd Boehly, like Grizz said. Todd Boehly needs to, step back, focus on getting the deals done for the get the sleeve sponsorship done, get the shirt sponsorship done. Do those things, but leave the football to the football people now. We've done enough. We're done.
You know what? We'll move on from Chelsea because I'm sure after the Real Madrid game, we'll touch on Chelsea again on Thursdays.
More than you can believe.
More than you can believe. We're about 5 minutes to 2 hours, so we're going to slowly but surely wrap it up. But before we do, we're going to touch on United 2-0 win against Everton, but a Rashford injury. And considering you're fighting for top 4 now, you're back in that kind of tussle. Well, how does that? Well, and you're fighting for FA Cup and Europa League. How do you think that's going to affect you? What's it looking like?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a big blow. If he is out, obviously we're still not heard the scan yet, but we're hearing rumours of maybe 4 weeks out, a couple of weeks out. So that will be a big blow, man, because, he's efficient, isn't it? He's our goal scorer. He's the one that's, not carrying the team, but, up front, we are lacking goals. And he's the one that stepped up this season. So it will be a big blow. So hopefully it's not serious. I reckon he'll be out for Sevilla. And then, I don't know, touch and go. It just depends on how he's rushed back in, because Ten Hag, and he's kind of given something on Instagram to assume that he's okay, but we don't want you rush back and then you're out for the rest of the season. So yeah, listen, man, he's out, but other than that, United are doing well. Got the win, 2 wins now since the Newcastle loss at home, man. Listen, I don't fear anyone at home, man. At home, I'm comfortable. At home, I'm smiling. It's when we go away from home that's where the problems are, man. But at home, bro, we battered Everton, man. I don't know how that was only 2-0. Should have been 3 or 4, 5 or 6. Everton were poor. Anthony should have had a hat-trick. Rashford should have had more goals. Sabitzer should have had one. We battered Everton. They had one chance through their striker, but other than that, we were dominant. Dominant display by Man United, comfortable, and just routine at home, innit? We do the business at home. And yeah, we just kind of have to move on from this one. Got loads of games kicking in now. We're playing 3 games a week now. Obviously, Europa League kicking in on Thursday, and then we got the FA Cup after. So yeah, man, this is a business end to the season, man. Obviously, Martial got his goal, man. So I don't know if this is a new redemption now for Martial. Let's see what he can do to the end of the season. But yeah, man, listen, it was a routine win for us, man. I can't really talk more on it, man. It was a routine win.
Are you going on Thursday?
Yeah, I'm going on Thursday. So yeah, I won't be about on Thursday. So yeah, Thursday, Europa League settings. And then yeah, after that, it's next week for Forest, isn't it? Forest away.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What we'll do is it's 8 p.m. You know what? We'll do the show on Friday this week. So Friday, 9:30, cool. We'll come back, and then the whole team can be here. And that'll give Toby an extra day to recover as well. Anyone else want to say anything about United?
Nah, ban that team, man.
No, ban that. All good. Couple super chats. Shogun's come in just before we moved on from Chelsea. Are we not going to acknowledge the newly appointed director of football at Chelsea? James Corden has suggested Todd Boehly to appoint Frank, apparently.
We shouldn't. We don't usually listen to the Sun, so let's not start now.
We've got the last one here from Ricky. Actually, before we get Ricky's, and let's get this one on Chelsea as well. Mid-table Blues, London Cowgirls, pride of London, my arse. Grizz, can Liverpool still finish above Arsenal? And will you get Jude? I'm waiting till the summer. You're going to give them a hey Jude, Grizz?
Yeah, do you want to talk about that?
We got it today. We got it this morning.
Yeah, we got another good morning. Good morning.
Every morning.
Again.
It's every day.
What happens in the group stays in the group.
I'm telling you, it's all
I'm not gonna lie. In New York, we got cameraman with us, like vlogs and that.
I keep forgetting. I need to add Thuggery to the group, but yeah, that'll happen soon.
Add him, man.
Right.
It's gonna be a lot more slaughtered him. I've been messaging him. I've slaughtered him. I'm not happy.
The vlogs are going to be very personal.
You hear that? Yeah, Grizz has slaughtered you. Remember that for the rest of this season.
I'm messaging him right now. I'm telling him. I'm putting it on him. I need to take my anger on him.
Last super chat.
Add him in the group.
I will do it straight after this stream ends. Ricky says to Savva, I love Arsenal, hate Spurs, but I hate Spurs a little less today, seeing they have a sensible fan like you. I'm going to subscribe to your channel to see if you're real, and this is not just a new channel bounce.
Oh my God. That is funny. New channel bouncing. That's a new terminology.
We'll get Savva on again.
Is he suggesting I'm like Dean Smith? Is that what's going on here?
Big up Ricky for the super chat. Big up Savva for slotting in for Togs. Savva, really appreciate that because it was literally last minute.
Yeah.
Top debut, mate. Top debut. Savva is a humbler.
Yeah,
Savva is a savage. Savage. We call him savage.
Man.
Big up. Really enjoyed that. Pleasure.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it, and the wife's going to kill me. I've been streaming since 6 o'clock, so she's going to absolutely hate me.
Apologies. Pick her out tomorrow, man.
I've just checked, and Savva's channel has passed 4K people. So love to everyone that's gone over to Savva's channel and subscribe.
There you
don't
go.
stop
Big
now.
6 tax.
Come on. And don't stop now. Continue doing that. If you'd like Savva's input into the show, make sure you go subscribe. He's on the road to 5K. You will see Savva on again. I'm going to take his number after this. And anytime Tobes is not available, or anytime we need more fans on the Big Six official channel, then we'll be shouting Savva as well. So make sure you guys show some love to Savva and the rest of the team. HUGH, SAEED, Grizz, MATISSE, Thuggery. Subscribe if you haven't already, people. There's still 6.8K in the building. We've just passed the 2-hour mark. We have hit 2K. Love for the love. If you haven't hit the like button, still do that, people. Let's get it to 3. And I keep forgetting, but make sure you subscribe to this channel too. I'm on the road to 100K. So if you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe, show some love, and stay tuned in here. We are back Friday as SAEED is at the game on Thursday night. And I think it's been a little while since the whole team has been here. So let's make it happen this Friday, 9:30, people. Love for the love. Hit the like button. Enjoy the content. Share it on the socials at The Big Six Show. And we'll be back on Friday after the European football. Peace, people. We're out.
This show is sponsored by Manscaped, the leaders in men's below-the-waist grooming. Are you a big dog? If you are, go grab your discount. Use code TB620 at manscaped.com. It's what the big dogs do.